Hello. I am once again asking for your forgiveness on how long it's taken to get some of these VOD reviews out and the inconsistencies in my upload schedule. If you don't follow me on Twitter or Twitch, things have been pretty crazy. I guess just a quick recap. I signed to the Apex broadcast team for the tournament, so I am officially an analyst on those broadcasts. So I've been really busy with that, as well as I signed to a new team. I've been also very busy with that, which is putting a halt on these VOD reviews a bit, but a lot of it's settled down, and I think I'm going to get into about, I'm shooting for one video a week, at least from the VOD reviews. Everything else is going to be kind of extra. So, some of these VOD review videos that I just have never gotten around to uploading on YouTube, so we're going to go back through them all when I don't have any new relevant ones to upload. So, we're going to go back to Online Tournament 2. And this is from the perspective of Alliance, the Caustic team from Europe that ended up winning it all, and it was the first time a Caustic team has won, I think, a major tournament. This VOD review was a little bit difficult for me to do, as it was the first VOD review that I did where the teams did not speak English to communicate with each other. However, they do speak the Apex universal language of pinging, so I was able to discern a lot of what they wanted to do in terms of their strategy and whatnot. But this is a really cool VOD review to do because, again, it is from a very unique perspective with a Caustic, so the game plays out a little bit differently. And I feel like I hit some pretty good points on just how different it is and how well they play around it. Given the limited comms, I still think there's a lot of good stuff in here. I enjoyed doing it, and I hope you guys do, or enjoy watching it, so appreciate it. Enjoy. Who are you reviewing? All right, hey, perfect time to do the intro. We are reviewing Alliance. They won the Europe Online Tournament. This was heavily requested. A lot of the reason was because they run Caustic. However, there's going to be a big difficulty in this because they don't speak English. So this will be the very first VOD review I do that's where they're not speaking English. So this is going to be tough because if you watch any of my other VOD reviews, you know I talk a lot about their comms. And I judge comms a lot. So you'll have to give me a little bit of leeway on that. We're just gonna have to go with what we see on the screen. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, so they go thermal. No, sure, time, okay. Alright, let's take a look at this circle as soon as Loli opens the map again, because I hate the fact that he's listening to music. I'm sorry, Loli, if you happen to watch this, I hate the fact that you're listening to music, because it's distracting. I keep thinking it's my music. He's going with the Evo, interesting. I like it. Evo charge rifle, pretty devastating. Alright, so, I mean, I guess might as well talk about it. So, for any aspiring Caustic teams out there, I haven't watched any Caustic teams play, but basically, for those wondering how Caustic fits into competitive, and how the hell you make it work, basically, what you're going for is, you have to have a great ability to read the circle, first off, because it's all about getting Caustic to the late game. Caustic wins late game if you get him there, but the problem is, you gotta get him there. So, that's the biggest focus that's gonna be going out for this team, is just making sure they kind of get there. I would imagine, at least, again, I haven't seen them play. I doubt you'll see them playing Edge a lot on purpose. But again, I don't know. I haven't seen them play. Because Caustic actually, I mean, Caustic's not actually bad at pushing either if he has his ult up. His ult's really good for pushing buildings. But obviously, when you have a lobby full of all pro players, he gets shredded. Right? Similar to Jibby, but Jibby has a lot of defensive capabilities to make sure he doesn't get shredded, like the gun shield and the dome. Caustic, if you get caught out, you are just fucked. So, very curious to see how they play it overall, what their general strategy is. I wish I could understand what they're saying. Can't though. You can't. I think the best way we can have Evo shields is take them out of the normal loot pool and just put them on everybody from the very get-go. Like, everybody spawns in with Evo armor. And it's your choice if you want to keep it or not. Well, gas destroys Octane ult.
En är gul. Bakom mig.
Han får ett uppe!
Kör vår ult.
Han får ett uppe, jag måste kula.
Backa av, vi blir skjuten på scout.
Ja, det är fort.
Jag backar. Jag mäter.
So they have position here. Obviously, the fight is getting thirded a little bit, so I'm imagining they're just gonna hold here. They don't have portal, so this is a bit unlucky for them. They could take the portal back if they really want to. Okay, I still haven't seen the circle though. Fuck. Bounces a grenade away. I mean, that's a very unlikely scenario. Yes, it does. Gas also destroys Watson. Oh yeah, for those that don't know, gas destroys Watson's ult and her fences. But no, I do think, I guess to kind of tack on to what I was talking about. Shit, I gotta turn off my announcements. To kind of tack on to what I was saying, another reason, not only just the late game, but Caustic actually does. So like, people pick Watson for her defensive purposes, right? Like bunkering down and holding down a house or a certain area. Caustic actually does that better in terms of actual defensive ability. Like, you can push a house with Watson in it. You can't really push a house with Caustic in it if the Caustic plays it properly. The most annoying thing about Caustic in general in pubs and especially competitively is if you are the Caustic team, if you are in a house or holding any kind of area or structure, mainly structure. He actually is not very good at holding outdoors as much as Watson is. But indoors, buildings, I'm sure I don't have to tell you how annoying Caustic is, right? The biggest strength and the way most teams should generally aim to play, again, generally, because every scenario is different, is bunker down in a house, and you don't actually get like super aggressive with teams. Your goal is to basically just turtle until another team basically comes and pulls that team off of you. I mean, you can also just kill them too, but turtling is Caustic's biggest strength. Not only in holding houses, but even in like if his team happens to go down like behind a rock, he can throw out a couple traps, shoot them all of a sudden all you can do is nade the rock. But if you have Watson ult, then you're good. So that's one big thing too if you're an aspiring Caustic player for some freaking reason. That's a big thing that a lot of Caustic players don't do. Buddy of yours goes down right next to you, plop the barrel down, shoot it, and then res them while you're in your own gas. Most people can't push that typically, so there's a lot of, like, he is really fucking good at what he does. The problem is he's just a very big hitbox, and like I said, rotating with him is a nightmare. Grenades are scary, but they have a Watson though to stop that. Charge rifle Peacekeeper, man. That's a risky combo. I like it. I mean, the charge rifle is purely to charge the Evo armor, for those wondering why he has either. I mean, the charge rifle is good. It's a solid sniper now. It's much better than it was actually in the last iteration before the sniper change. It is actually a really, really good sniper now. But their goal right here is literally to just poke, use the charge rifle to literally charge the Evo armor, and then he's gonna swap off probably. Well, he'll probably keep it until he needs to go to close range. Lowly's gas doesn't really interrupt his teammates. I don't know. I have not seen them play, so. Is this on the house? It is. Alright, so please, map. Please, Lowly. There we go. Thank you. I think this is the first time I'm noticing that the map is. That we're looking at the map. Alright, so this is a tricky one. This could be a lot of different. Oh, here we go. Pen time. How's the keybind again? Control shift? Yeah, control shift. Alright, pen time. Ready? So there's a lot of potential circles with this, especially when we're talking about sorting. Again, keep in mind, I have not seen any of the EU tournament. I tend to, anytime I'm going to do VOD reviews, I tend to not watch these tournaments because I want to go in blind. So, some common circles that you can see here. There's one generally in this area. There's one like, no, it's more up here. There's one generally in this area. There is an ending that's kind of out in this corner. That was the worst circle you've ever seen. We're gonna just redo that. That was the undo button. Control Shift 6. Now that's a keybind and a half. So there's one here. There's an ending out here. There is an ending kind of out here. For the most part that I know of. My mind, again, I'm doing this late. My brain's not working. My mind might be a little dull when it comes to this right now. I think there's one out here too. So these are probably like likely endings that you'll see. We'll just have to go see. If any of these, like, ideally they would want to probably take one of these like 4 houses here. Is it 4 or 3? Either way, taking a building or a room or something. It's all about. That's what it's all about when it comes to playing Caustic. So, like I said, I doubt you'll see very much edge play here. So hopefully Hopefully we see some decent representation. I mean, I'm sure we will if they won. Let us continue. All right, Spirit, is this the finals? Because I definitely did just want the finals. Wait, this is not the finals? This is the final. Oh, brother. I was watching it live. Okay, thank you. I freaking hope it is, because I hope I am not watching semis. I mean, if anything, we'll continue this game out, but I definitely want to watch the finals. Oh, they did in the same day? Shit. Oh my god, no. Well, okay, as I finish this game out, would someone do the honor of telling me... We'll finish this game out since we've already started it. Would someone do the honor and showing me... linking me the timestamp for the finals? Alright, so we'll finish this game out because we already started. But we will swap to the finals after this. Because I'm not gonna know. There's no way for me to know.
Vi binsen. 79 poäng.
Nice.
Break yard.
Jag är med dig.
Alright, this seems high out of their mind if they're pushing. I mean, I would literally avoid a Caustic team.
Spring ner vänster. Kacka, ett på åsen. Eller wait, han kurar, han är ett uppe. Jag är där. Toby.
Ja, backa.
Bruh.
Gibby.
Hold on.
Kacka, ett på åsen. Eller wait, han kurar, han är ett uppe. Jag är där. Toby.
Can I get a translation on that, Balin? That comm I'm curious about. I love it. I love it.
Gibby.
Gobi. I don't watch a lot of competitive. Is Charge Rifle still big in tourneys? I feel like it disappeared in pubs after the nerfs. Yes, Charge Rifle is top 2 sniper of the sniper class. It's actually, the sniper change made the Charge Rifle really good because it made it extremely ammo efficient with regards to all the other snipers, and just, yeah, it's ammo efficient as hell. It's very, very good now. Yeah, you don't really see it on pubs. You don't see the snipers picked up often in pubs in general, but it is definitely like, some teams regard it as the best sniper in the game, some teams regard it as the second best sniper in the game. It's still really good. Assuming we're not talking about Scout, by the way. But the reason they are mainly picking up the Charge Rifle in this case is to charge Evo Shield. Straight up. Like I said, it is strong, so there is merit to picking it up regardless. But the biggest reason is because Charge Rifle is the easiest gun to farm damage on. Easiest gun. So their whole point is they give slap a Charge Rifle on a lowly, slap him the Evo Shield. He takes less damage, which is why, so like when people try to trade him on Sniper, that's why he is the one sniping, just because he takes less damage. So the trades are always going to be better for him. So that's basically why he has the Charge Rifle and the Evo Shield, if that makes sense. I think so, Julian. I don't know if it's generally considered better, but I believe it is. I am here to help where I can. Alright, so it's looking...
Folk i tåget.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, I forgot about that circle. That was also a pretty common one. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to end right out here. Despite RG actually saying it, I didn't read it. Because I first read someone telling him not to say it, so I didn't actually read what he said. But I did forget that, yeah, this like little water pond area, that's a really common circle too. That's, okay, so let's talk about that. That's gonna, like on paper, that sucks for Caustic teams. Because again, he does the defensive properties of like Watson better than Watson in terms of just holding in like an area, more particularly a building. But the problem is he is not as good, I think, outdoors, obviously. As much as a Watson is, so this one will be a little bit tricky. I'd be very impressed if they won late game outside. Will you charge Evo to red then give it to Wraith? I don't know, actually. I would assume so. A large showed, but we will see how it actually goes down. So again, this is why I like doing this. I like making kind of predictions to see how it goes. I would assume not a lot of teams min-max armor to the degree that like I would, because I'm just like a min-max fiend. But I would assume he's probably going to keep it for rotations. Just because, again, he's a massive target. He takes a lot of damage easy. I would assume for the most part he's going to take it. Or he's going to keep it for at least like the rotation side of things. But I think he's probably also... if they're big on min-maxing armor, then he would probably swap it to the Wraith late game. But that's literally team dependent. There are some really good teams that don't min-max armor like that. They kind of just go with it, you know? So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Or at least just chill
Ja,
out.
det stannar. Ja.
Alright, so it did pull out to the water.
Jag får.
I forgot, that's the one I forgot to mention.
Jag vill inte ta, om vi inte måste.
Alright, so they're doing a wide. Luckily, their rotation's pretty clear here. Nobody really around.
Jag som en laggad daser dock.
Yeah, so keeping the armor on the Caustic, which I expected. Like I said, a lot of teams are lazy to min-max. No, that being said, obviously, this is more of the play, I think, personally. Alright, so I can see... So, I can't speak Swedish, but I can speak Apex, and I see that they pinged this building. So I'm assuming they want to run this building, and that doesn't surprise me at all. Because, assuming that they want this, it makes total sense. And this is exactly what I was talking about, is you just want to hold buildings with Caustic. He's not that great outside, but he definitely is an absolute animal. He's unmatched in buildings. Me, Hal, and Elinore, we won this tourney. I'm not going to comment on that, because this is going on YouTube.
Jag tror vi kan gå in här, Ta byggnaden här, close.
Ja.
Kom till mig. Gå in snabbt, det verkar öppen.
Ja, det är inte där.
Nej, den är inte tagen, men den är båda här.
And I don't want to get copy struck if this goes on YouTube. Hi, Robin.
Sätt upp här minnet.
Jävlar, jag laggade detta gamet. Alltså.
Boom. I told you, I speak Apex. I know what they're doing. I speak Apex. I know pings. I can read pings. Doesn't surprise me at all they're doing this. This is just the first game, Honda. And it's also the semis, so I'm actually skipping after this. But since we already started it, we're here. A little surprised he doesn't set up like a bunch of traps, because they are a 30-second cooldown each. There it is. I guess he is. Time is dwindling, so I think he's looking for any reason or any avenue to do some damage. Isn't it kind of weird this building was free though? Yes and no. I mean, like, yes, with 20 dude, holy fuck, there's 20 squads left still. I didn't even look at that. Yeah. So yes and no, because with 20 squads left, you would think, you know, there's people all over the place. But the big thing about sorting, like a lot of the circles that you see, you have to keep in mind how much real estate there actually is. There are so many teams that could fit somewhere to play in sorting. Like right here, for example, this building, 2 teams can play this, right? One up here, one down here. Neither team's gonna fuck with each other because the team that's on the roof over here is probably gonna fuck with them. I think you could probably fit 2 teams on the roof, probably like 3 teams inside, just in that little fucking corner area. There's like 4 buildings, you know, along like the north wall. There's so many teams that can fit in the sorting. What a lot of teams do is, in tournaments, particularly because everyone's afraid to make moves because they don't want to die, is they'll just take whatever they can get and kind of just deal with their rotation afterwards, which isn't always the best strategy, but if you're just trying to stay alive, it is. So, I think most people read this to be a bit of a sorting ending. So, typically where most teams read a certain way, the game a certain way, you'll see most teams there. I am a little bit surprised to see that this building is completely open, though. I figured, like, their whole entire rotation was actually open. Like, this entire area there was no one. But again, I think it's because this is a pretty hard shift southward from the original circle that we saw. So that's probably why no teams read it. If the original circle was more centered down to the south and made this circle a little bit more obvious, you would see somebody in here for sure. I would want to do things similar to this, more on the analytic side. They're not really hard pressed to move here. If you're wondering why their team is positioned outside aggressively, I mean, Wraith should always be positioned a little bit aggressively away from the team. But you know, if you are the Wraith, or if you are trying to throw a leash on your Wraith, she should always be positioned away from the team, but she should also always be a Q distance away, right? Or a Q distance, basically just a Q away from being able to be helped. But yeah, they're positioning aggressively outside right now to stop anybody from rotating near them, which is smart. That's what you should do. That's why you see, you know, when the circle is moving like this, everyone starts moving around and looking everywhere, so they're allowed to gain a little bit of extra space just to hold teams off. Thank you, Ted. I appreciate that, man. Hopefully, that'd be cool, right?
Jag ställer.
Bubblan försvinner snart. Har du försvunnit?
Wow.
Förstör ulti.
Holy fuck, they got gifted this circle hard. Holy shit. Alright, so... Oof. I want to see when he looks over to the right a little bit more. So I can like talk about some like cover being played.
De backar vänster. Jävlar.
Go a little bit further, Lily. Alright, perfect. They got gifted hard. Right, because like I said, the hardest thing about making Caustic work is rotating with him. They effectively don't have to rotate here at all. They have a lot of like little bit of cover here that they can play and choose to play. They'll likely choose something on the more south side of the circle because they are like from here. Let me bust out the pen. From like this point on, they are like the only team down here, right? So they're gonna want to pick the furthest spot away that's safe from like every other team that's gonna be rotating into like this most congested area. Look, there's 16 squads left, bro. I bet you there's gonna be like less than 8 by the time the circle closes. So they're gonna be looking for any spot down here that's safe from everyone else. So like, you know, like obviously like the closest spot to them is just something like right here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they, like I said, if they played something out here more just because of just to get away from all of the action. The deep pocket principle, the DPP as I like to call it. It applies here as well, and I'm sure that's probably what they're gonna go for. They got gifted. It's literally on their front door, the circle. So they don't really have to move anywhere. This is really simple for them. Very lucky. They don't even have to use a portal for this, which is really big. Jack, you're about to be mad at me.
Rest point.
But let's watch this for a sec.
Där borta. Jag har inga skott kvar. Har någon sniperskott?
Nej.
Okej. Jag har bara pökar.
They did actually port. Okay, so this is interesting. Oh, all right. Okay, well, the terrain here makes a lot of sense. So this is interesting, actually. But anyways, let's talk about this here in a sec. So this is actually very interesting. I'm gonna definitely like try to get a better angle of it. Obviously they defied what I said, but I think the purpose of why they grabbed this is the exact terrain advantage that they have here. So this is it's no building, right? Building, like I said, is ideal for Caustic, but look at the coverage that this area has. It's basically like a pseudo building. Actually, this is a great place to stop it. It's basically a pseudo building, right? If any of these small rocks, Caustic is effectively useless on these small rocks. This massive rock, you're not gonna have anyone climbing up here. That's just not gonna happen. They'll get shot down by anybody else. So basically, to fight this, you either have to like jump through this, or you basically have to like wide peak these angles, and which obviously a nice little Caustic barrel stops that. So this is actually a really smart place to take. Again, because it's a massive terrain advantage. They got a little pocket in here. If anybody goes down, they just plop a little gas, and then, you know, they res them, right? This is smart. I'm very curious to see how this plays. The only worry is there is a team literally like right on the other side. But again, Caustic, genuinely, if you have a good spot with him, he's generally very hard to push into.
Jag bara... Så jag tycker inte till något.
My single fire is not bad. You're hard trolling. Okay, so them taking this early too is huge, because now this actually might have been the play, and this in which case this is very smart. They took this early, actually. See, again, I wish I could understand their comms. They took this early to try to gatekeep the team that's right next to them with the ult, which is really smart. Right, put down a trap. He throws that trap to make sure, you know, he knows if someone's coming. They got to this spot before the other team, and now they just get gassed. Really smart fucking play. Takes support back to the nades. Huge.
En knock.
Gas is already getting him out.
Jag bettar.
And now he just will walk through the ring.
Wait on. Bakom.
I don't know about that. That barrel was a little bit.
Push bakom mig. Akta. Jag hade ingenstans att ta vägen. De pushar.
Look at the kill.
De pushar.
Alright. That, I don't know. I'm not sure what that play was right there. I'm gonna be real. He only had one barrel left, and I think he needed to use that very defensively. Let's go back and take a look at it. Alright. So he's gonna, I think, take one more shot, and then he's gonna turn and throw a barrel to his right. Again, he only has one barrel. It's coming up in 1 second. what I thought he was gonna do by watching this was I thought he was gonna throw a barrel like kind of like right here, like in front of his team, enough to like cover enough ground so no one can wide peek, and then shoot it, because that would be unless people were running DTs, they could literally all just hide in the gas and just chill and heal up. I thought that's what he was gonna do with the one that he had.
Wait, thought.
That's a good kill right there though. See, like, look at this. This is prime time. Like they're trying to fend off everybody. Throw one literally right here, pop it yourself, and then everybody just kind of heal in the back. Like, take random spots and heal. Because right now, so anytime you are in these metric, like, butt-fuck circles like this, where, like I said, everyone is just dying, the most important thing for you to do is just fucking stall. Just live as long as possible. Like, yeah, you can try to, like, take apart, like, a team that's close by and, like, take their spot, but the most important thing to do is stall. Every half second they spend alive here probably gets them 2 more points, 1 to 2 more points in placement. So this is all about just stalling. I figured he was gonna throw a barrel here and then just like hide in the gas, like I said, but he kind of went YOLO. I don't really know what the push was here. Again, I don't know if there was a call to push this, but this was a bit of a silly push on Loli's part.
Bakom.
I also don't know what that barrel was either, but yeah, like his team is, I think, all behind the rock. All they have to do is just chill behind the rock with gas, and I think they at least eke out a lot more placement points here.
Akta. Jag hade ingenstans att ta vägen. De pushar.
Jag dog creepar, tror jag.
See, so that team, look at that. So they down Loli and then they push up to take their spot. If there was just gas there, they wouldn't be able to do that. Overall, very solid play. I loved that play, that portal play, to gatekeep the team in front of them with the Caustic ult. I think that was really fucking smart. It did a lot of damage. I think it fucked that team over. But let's take a look at this actually. I'm curious. So about like 5 to 10 seconds have passed. Look at that. 6 squads left. If they had just stalled a little bit more, they would have gotten a lot more placement points. So, but overall, yeah, I like it. I think it's very interesting. That was a very, very smart play that they had originally. I like it. It's just I mean, it's easy for me to stand here and just watch them, right, and tell them what they should have done, because this shit's hectic, dude. It's so fucking hectic. You don't know what the hell is going on half the time when there's literally 20 squads in this tiny ass circle. So, I think they did pretty well overall, but they definitely, I think that was like a pretty big thing that I assumed they were gonna do, but they just didn't. I think him throwing the gas out there served little to no purpose. The one where he turned around and threw it to the south. But anyways, that's actually game 1 of the semis, which I did not mean to do. I believe someone said 434, right? All right, show me the circle.
Nice.
Skynda oss till...
Lite den. Akta, ta den.
Please, slowly show me the circle. This blows my mind. And this is not like I'm not digging on or ragging on Loli in particular, because he's not the only player that does this. Even if I'm not the IGL, I have to look at the circle. As soon as I hear that like sound when the circle comes up, I have to look at it. I can't not know what the circle is. I know not everyone's like that, and that's fine. But 2 purples and a gold. Holy shit. Thank you. All right, let's talk about possible endings and things that they're gonna want to go for. So they pinged this little dome thing down, the donut down here, which is a very solid spot. Very good for, very easy for Caustic to hold something like this. Obviously hard focused around this area. There aren't like many circles around this area, like where it actually is focused. So there are there's a bit of a triangle where you can see some of the end zones here. Again, this is a very common one out here. Sorry, my circles on the mouse suck. It's possible to go over here, but typically when I've seen this type of circle that's like right over Harvester, typically it doesn't go over here. Again, anything is possible. There is a circle out here. Obviously, like I said, the circle. Here, actually, let's just. So there is this circle out here. Obviously, the one that we just saw out here. There is one. I did see this very similar circle yesterday that pulled out here. There's one here too in this choke, but that one's, you don't see that one often. And then there are the one sorting ones. But like I said, typically when you see this harvester circle, I'm just gonna circle them. They're like out here. There's this one. There's this one. That's about it. They vary a little bit from here. But anyways, typically, when you see this type of circle, like kind of hard over harvester like that, it's usually like around this area. Like I said, there aren't very many end circles like in this general area, so they're typically around here. So we'll see. They pinged this little donut right here, which is definitely interesting. If I had to think about why they did it or why they would want to go there, they might think it's a very similar ending. They might think it's like an ending all the way out in this area. So they want to. This building is probably the most logical to hold because it's a very easy building for you to hold as a Caustic team. You know, you always got to think about the building infrastructure and how easy is it to actually hold. Caustic can hold this building very well. And then on top of that, it has very big high ground over this entire area if the circle does go out here. So they actually have like a lot of control of the tempo out here. And kind of and a lot of information too. Always got to keep in mind that the higher elevation you have, the more information you can get. So I'm assuming with that ping, they want to go there, which is a solid spot for them to hold. Alternative spots, if the circle does go out here, is something like that they could have done is something like here. I doubt it'll be this one. I don't personally see this one a lot in tournaments. Not that that matters, but they could do that one as well. I do think this one's safe too, also because it's on the southern end of the map, meaning there's going to be, you know, if they're down here and the rest of the game is out here, they're very unlikely to encounter a lot of resistance down here. So, which is what you want as a Caustic. Caustic just needs to get to the late game. That's his goal. You're not gonna be running around fragging teams as Caustic. Riding the train in, nice. Train is very like, I know in pub games and ranked, train doesn't really matter all that much, but train is actually really nice and competitive. It can give you some extremely free rotations. Didn't FlyQuest have one? They had an analyst, not necessarily a coach. And he did more like number crunching and stuff like that, like data and stuff like that, and stuff like that.
Va? Här borta.
Close?
Ja, han är close där borta.
Rotera bara. Spring här borta.
Han såg det.
Nice little cheeky trap to see if anyone comes by that way, or if anyone pushes past the box.
Stängde in trailern.
Yeah, so they are going for that. Okay, at least they're pinging. I'm glad they're pinging so I can actually see what the hell they're gonna... Wait, he's actually using that wingman skin? I like that wingman skin, but it's the bulkiest one in the entire game. Props, slowly. I don't know how you do it, homie.
Han är inte nu här.
Alright. So, they're probably gonna sit in here for the most part, so I'm just gonna speed it up until they start talking about rotations and stuff like that. I'll probably unpause it. Or I'll probably slow it down again and pause it when the next circle comes up. Again, I don't think there's gonna be much to talk about in these games versus like all the other VOD reviews I've done. One, because it's not in English. And two, because the teams are running... There's not... Like, it's a very simple strategy that you have with Caustic. Get a building and get a really strong one. That's basically it. So... There's nothing like too crazy too crazy... there's nothing too groundbreakingly crazy running a Caustic in terms of strategy. Like, it's very simple. Just get a strong building, get a strong position you can hold, and just wait it out to the end game.
Ja, en kvar.
Holy shit, it is flashing hard outside.
Ja.
Jag sallar. Spring. Vi kan bara springa under.
Säker.
Ja, spring.
Okay, so they're moving. I'm not sure what their ping... So the ping is kind of out in the open, so I don't know exactly what they want to do with it. They want... Oh wait, no, he pinged the tractor. Why is it so long?
Jag har honom. Jag har ultat dem.
Jag måste Phoenix.
Ta på tolv tillbaka.
Jag vill 3 på gången.
Jag gasar på tolv.
Jag har 7% kvar till.
Not a bad ult. I mean, it stopped them from... Like, it zoned them, basically.
Nice.
So I'll have it again for the next...
Jag gör mig med snus. Jag vill inte vara i skit.
Yes, jag har dem snart.
Yeah, they're Swedish. I'm curious. I'm interested
Oh my
that
god!
Balan, if you're there, I'm curious as to why they moved. If anyone can translate why they may have moved from that building. That building's good.
Sorry, my shotgun.
I'm curious what circle they think this is because they haven't think what circle they think it is.
De åker upp. 30 Watson.
At least I don't see one.
Gasar på oss.
Okay, so this is like almost an identical circle to the first game of the semis that we just watched. Keep in mind, the 2 games that we just watched, the other game we just watched isn't from this series. So, again, it could be this circle out here again, because this kind of did look like this, right? This little pit was like just barely in this little building. It could be the same circle, which is actually a crazy pull. But again, let's take a look at the other ones that are probably likely as well, which is this one. There's still a chance for this one out here. There's one like on the roof. They're basically on the roofs just in general out here. And then there's one like kind of like out here too. They had to read maybe. Again, I'm not saying like them moving out here is a bad idea. I was just surprised, that was all. Just because, especially because that donut's like really good. That donut's like, not only is it good to hold, but like notice how, again, the hermit crab principle. Maybe he's calling these things principles. I don't know. The hermit crab though, you know, they had a really good spot, which was this donut, and they intentionally moved away from it. It's not like they got to take it from them. They intentionally moved away from it, and then another team immediately that had a worse of a spot took it, right? That's you always have to keep that in mind in competitive. Is like once you leave a spot, there's a very small chance you're gonna get it back. Not that they wanted to do that. That's just a general thing that I like to teach. And for those of you that are like, well, hodsic, what do you mean hermit crabs? What do crabs have anything to do with this? Well, glad you asked. See, when a hermit crab has a smaller shell, let's use the example of a bad position in BRs. They go for a bigger shell or a better position. And then another hermit crab or team with a smaller shell or a bad position will take their better position. We get it, you play Animal Crossing. Actually, someone on my YouTube comments gave me that analogy. I don't remember their name, but if you're out there, thank you. Or if you're watching this video, thank you. It could end toilet bowl. This is a very common ending out here too. I forgot to circle that one. Alright, so let's see. What are they exactly trying to go for is what I want to know here. They're still moving. There is an ending like down here too. I mean, I guess that's similar to the toilet bowl ending. They can vary out here. So he's committing a lot. He's committing a lot of barrels down here. I'm thinking they're taking this, but I don't see any walls. Okay, yeah. They're taking this little hill then. Interesting. There is an ending like in this general area, so... Love, they actually call it the toilet too. So this is actually interesting. Let me try to get a better view. I think they're holding up here for now. I'm guessing. Yeah, this is a Swedish team. They won the European tournament. So I'm guessing that they're holding up here just for now. Like, this hill is actually pretty safe for now. Like, no one's gonna like challenge them from the high ground or anything or be in this little corner. So this hill is actually pretty safe for now. I think they're just holding it, and I think there's that Hawkus, they're telling Hawkus to go scout it right now. Or Hawkus is doing it. I don't know who their IGL is. I'm assuming it's Hawkus. Oops. So I think Hawkus is scouting the toilet. I think that's what they want, which is a very good spot. So if the toilet bowl is open, they are going to snag that shit immediately. I am guessing at least.
Jag vill kolla bara lite bakom. Sonen kommer in precis nu. Så jag gasar.
That's not their portal that we just heard.
Håller bakom taget.
Jag håller på dem. Biman, backen. Nej där.
Är det inte så?
Oh.
Jag blir
ihåg
massiv QA.
Ja. Vi har det vi behöver. Fortsätter regera eller?
Ja, vi går ner.
Holy shit. They said they want to play outer fence. Okay, that's actually a pretty good idea. I kind of like that.
Oh my god.
Because let's talk about that. Thank you, Balin. I appreciate it. So outer fence. Let me see if you will give me like a better view of it, just so I can actually talk about it with like it in sight. All right, perfect. So if they're playing the outer fence, I don't know if they mean on the inside. Actually, let's just see where they start setting up. It'll be a lot easier to talk about it then. Oh yeah, if they're talking about this, ooh, that's a very smart play actually, because basically nobody can fuck with them. If any team tries to wide peek them from any side, they're basically going to be out in the open. This is a really smart play. I like this a lot. I'm guessing the toilet is taken, which is why they're not playing that. But this is a really smart spot to play. Look at this. Like, who's gonna fuck with? Like, who's gonna push this team on this fence right here? You know, even if you get a knock, like, who's gonna push this? You could wraith portal and then like climb over the fence and try to finish the team. But like, this is actually a really good spot. I like this. You see Path Caustic Watson working. I see where you're going with Path being like the Actually, for a little bit, yes. Lou's team actually ran it for a little bit in scrims, and they actually run a lot of scrims with it. But that's even way riskier, right? You're basically all-inning on you thinking that you got the circle, right? And that's why I'm assuming that's why you're asking about path, because you get to read the beacons. You are literally all-inning on being in the middle of the circle. If you get it, great. You're gonna win. But if you don't, that's when problems come. You need the Wraith, I think. You need the Wraith to be more effective across more games. Because if you don't get a good spot, the Wraith TP, obviously, right? So... That's all BR compositions are about. BR team comps in this game are about. Is just increasing the overall likelihood that you will win or just not do fucking poorly per game. That's why you see Gibraltar and Watson, is because they just make really shitty situations less shitty. So they just overall increase your chances of winning even if you make a mistake. Any deviation right now from Wraith, Watson, Gibraltar just means more risk for more reward. That's all. It's a very safe play. It's a very safe team composition. It's a very like kind of. I will say crutch, but I don't mean it in like a negative way. Because obviously, when you're playing competitively, you do what you can to win. They actually RNG'd zone. They're still in here. Holy crap! Now I don't know if this is just luck or if this is them actually. Or if this is them actually, like, 5-head predicting this zone. But this is really good. Either way, it's going to work out very well for them. Or it should, rather. We'll see.
Give it crack, give it crack.
Nej, vi har vägen kvar. Det är bara...
Poppa min tunna här, poppa min tunna här, poppa min tunna. De multar. Min tunna poppar.
That's gonna fuck them up. So he fucking barreled both sides and popped it. That's gonna fuck him so hard as soon as this is done. This Jimmy bubble. Look at that! Oh, the triple gas ticks.
Ja, nice.
God, dude, this is so sick. There's just nothing you can do, man. There's just nothing you can do.
Watson är nere med 56.
Well, he definitely plays like a pretty smart Caustic too. I mean, I know he's experienced on it. They've been running for a while, but he's smart with his barrels.
Jag kan ulta dem.
I'd be surprised if he...
Jag ultar dem. Ja, men din ult i käken.
So it does actually eat it. I don't know if that... Wow.
De har nedat.
That sucks.
De har ultat. Detta är så... Poppa barrel. De blir gasade.
Look at that, like, what do you do? You just die. I don't know if those guys are downed or what, but you just die.
De letar.
Oh, if he can get a barrel on that other side of the fence, that'd be massive. Like, plop it right over, like, look up and just plop it right over. That would be massive.
Här uppe.
Jump wingman shots, I love it. Dude, they got the next zone too, basically. I mean, kind of. They might have to climb up a little bit.
Jag är red. 47.
Han kom upp och ner.
En till uppe.
Path uppe. Jag blir lockad. Gasa, ha dessa.
Jag har inte gas.
Okej. Håll bara dessa.
De domar.
Håll bara. De är kunna ha nåj. Bara vänta ut.
Cracka en.
Shot. Big.
Nice, bara vänta med gas. Nej, bara gasa dem. Vi är inte knockad nu.
Jag har inga bats.
But now it's probably time to go for res.
Poppa bättre sen dessa. Eller grassa ner i gasa.
Jag gasar.
Nice.
Vänta.
De fightar.
Very good barrel. Very good barrel.
Passar de shotgun-skott eller någonting? Nej. Jag kan poppa ner.
Här borta.
So I'm pretty sure they're in right here where Loli is. So they'll still have the coverage of their Watson ult. So this is actually really good. Like, it's gonna be. I mean, if anyone like wide peeks them, they could be really fucked. It could go either way, but I doubt that anyone actually like wide peeks them on this fucking ledge right here. Well, assuming that, like, you know, they're hiding right down here, because that means they'd be exposed to everybody else in the circle. So, I don't know. This will be interesting, but I don't know if they read this circle or if they just happen to get this fucking lucky. But damn, if they read this circle, big props to them. This is such a smart place to play for them. Yes, it is Kurta. Lily's cracking.
Jag bara håller. Vi är inte knockade nu.
Jag bettar. Jag har en barrel, jag kommer lägga den direkt. Rakt över. Jag vet inte om ni kan poppa den.
Dude, that barrel, this team, Kuya's team,
Vad lätt.
Bra.
they're getting fucked by these barrels.
Kacka.
Där, höger.
Fightas jättemycket på höger.
Höger. Hackis, höger.
Jag blir svimmad. Jag kan inte. Jag lät
Backus
mig
blocking Lowly shots.
Nice. 2 kills fick jag. Bara 2 slåss. Mitt knockade bara.
Jag är med.
Like, what do you do about this? I'd be very surprised if they don't win this.
Jag tar över Sprinter. Med 2 stycken här, 2 lag.
Jag laddar.
Jag har skott typ. De slåss. Vad är det så börja?
Jag pushar.
Jag är fortfarande en där inne.
Lag, där.
Här borta. Ett lag. Kacka Watson. Jag går close. Håll mig. Jag med.
Just go, Lowly. Just go. Fuck the armor, bro. Just go, dude.
Jag är toppe.
No way.
Red
No
one.
way.
44.
44.
Var rätt.
There's no way they
Hon är
lose this.
här.
Jag har skott.
Hon är här. Vänta på. Nice!
Nice.
Oh boys!
I was gonna say, no way they lose that.
Fucking goal.
That was a good win. That was really big game.
Fucking nice.
Fucking aldrig.
Så det ska vara så.
Bra första game boys.
Holy shit. Fucking go.
That was actually a really nice game. That was like a very so like even though that wasn't in like any buildings or anything, that was such an ideal Caustic game, dude. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like they just find a spot that's strong that they can hold, and they make it to the late game. I mean, you didn't really see Caustic's like late game potential in the terms of like throwing his ult in like the pin drop circle, but it obviously didn't even get there. But like you see the potential there. Like Caustic is a really fucking strong character. He's just really hard to pull off. I don't think no one doubts that he could be very, very good.
Shit.
Yeah, it really did, Rika, for sure. There is one thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I was surprised. Again, it's a lot different, like you know, when you're watching than actually playing. But I was very surprised as they go to push this last team that he didn't throw a barrel right here. If he throws a barrel right here, just anywhere in this general vicinity, and pops it. Again, I'm sure he's like, he probably didn't even look at his cooldown. He probably just assumed he didn't have one up, which is fine. Like I said, these end games are so hectic that you kind of forget the simple things, which is fine. But he throws a barrel right here. This team all of a sudden cannot wide peek at all. They're stuck behind that box, and then they just get collapsed on and killed. It would have been a far easier fight. I mean, they could climb up, but still, same thing. Oh yeah, he got his ult too. Actually, I didn't even. Wasn't looking. Like right here. See, look. Right here. Throw right there. Hell, even throw it like in this angle right here and force them over here. Like one barrel here would have fucked it and made it way, way easier than it actually was. But hey, in the end of the day, the end result is the same. Really good win. That was a fun game to watch. But that basically, like I said, that sums up Caustic. You get a good spot and you just hold it. And you win late game. Alright, look at circle, look at circle.
Det är jävla massa videos och shit, kolla på mig poäng. Det är därför alla kommer på.
Alla vill se Caustic. Stinkiga svart.
Jag tror att faktiskt det är bättre än jämna.
Look, they got circle again. Well, they're at least in it. Seems like it's gonna be a thermal one though, but let's see.
Jag tror vi sätter upp thermal faktiskt, toppen bara.
Oh shit, he just opened it, didn't he? Or was that his inventory?
Eller en tree-zone eller?
Då gittar vi snabbt som satan.
Jag tror vi sätter...
There it is, perfect. Okay. They still RNG circle to a degree. There's some good spots for sure that they can get to pretty fast. Because like one thing you got to keep in mind with like this area, this entire area of the map is there aren't that many teams dropping in this area. So like, you know, all these early spots that they could take for the whatever circle, there's not going to be a lot of competition for them. Like, right? Like say it's a circle around like drill site, right? You have probably like maximum like 3 teams in Skyhook, 1 team Lava Fissure, 1 team Mirage, 1 team Train. Could be Drill and Train, could be the same team. I know Liquid both loots it. So like the fact like this circle here, it's like 3 teams basically. Maybe 4, maybe 1 drops here, and I guess maybe 1 Harvester too, but still. That's one big plus side to this side of the map. Like the 2 games we already saw, like they got a pretty decent rotations down here, down like this area, and there's no one there. I don't. Is anyone even going tree? I guess maybe tree team was rotating really early. There's no way there isn't anyone tree. But yeah, strong spots for this circle, or potential areas for this circle. All right, first glaring one is something out here. I think there's 2 possible circles here. There's one here. I haven't seen. It's not as common in season 4, but I have still seen it. Still potential for out here. These circles aren't as common, but there is one here as well. Could be a mirage circle in general. There is one back here, and then there's like recently, or not recently-ish. There has been a circle like kind of at this choke, right? These are the ones that stand out to me as very likely. It could always end up being this one out here too, but these are the ones that stand out to me as very likely. I guess maybe this choke as well, but it's also not a very common one. But these are the ones that we're probably going to be looking out for. Either way, it looks like they're pinging. I don't know if he was pinging loot or what, but they might just take top thermal here, or bottom thermal actually, because they have caustic, so they might even take that, but they can't poke as much. I'd be interested to see what their play is here and how they read the circle. I hope they ping where they think it's going to be.
Sätter upp thermal faktiskt, toppen bara.
Wait. He said something about thermal, and they pinged the middle, so I'm assuming they're gonna play top thermal.
Så, okay.
Interesting that they took this defensive of a position in this circle, because it could be a lot of other places than here. Because if they get fucked and the circle doesn't pull to them at all, they might have a really rough time rotating. So, like I said, I already went over all the circles it possibly could be, potentially. They are a bit on the south side of it, so I'd be very surprised if it actually did pull all the way to them. It could, but I am curious to see how they do this, because like if it were me, I mean, again, I don't know their comms, I can't hear what they're saying, but if it were me, I'd be looking to get in as middle as possible in a decent spot, personally. But again, they are the more refined caustic team. They know how to play it better than I do, so let's just sit back and listen, or sit back and watch. I guess we can't really listen because they speak Swedish and it's not like we're gonna hear it anyways, or understand what they're saying anyways. They're confident it's gonna end somewhere in thermal, and that high ground spot is mediator spot. I mean, I know that, but why they would be confident it would end here is surprising to me, because the circle is literally over harvester. It could be here. There is still potential for it to be here, but it's not necessarily likely. In fact, it's pretty unlikely, but.
Så länge, alla regler så länge det inte har balans.
PK-are och grejer.
I didn't know you could do this. This is actually like, holy shit, this is the next little rat spot. This is why it's always nice to watch VoDs, guys. You learn a lot of things that you wouldn't normally do yourself. The angles on that, yeah. You're not wrong, but like that first pocket, the lower pocket, like how many people are really gonna look there? Like I would never look up there, you know what I mean? Or you mean the angles that he can get? Like there's some, like obviously when you look at this, you're gonna be like, well, this one's an obvious one, like you can get shot out of easily. Oh, angles you can get from climbing, yeah, it's pretty crazy. There you go, chat. Hey, you all learned something. So the circle actually RNG'd a little bit more towards the choke up here. We'll see how they start to rotate. I'm sure they're gonna start planning their rotate, because you don't want to be caught late rotating with Caustic. Again, Caustic's not actually bad for pushing if you have his ult. You know, if there's any team, especially outside, say like a team's behind like a type of rock or structure or something, just literally throw the ult, and if they don't get hit by it, then they're at least gonna get zoned by it, and you can use that to your advantage. So he's not actually bad for pushing if you have his ult. But the problem again is just rotating and how easy of a target he is. Looking, all right, so let's look at the potential circles here real quick. This is going to be another interesting one. So I was surprised at the way they played a pretty outdoorsy circle out here last game. They did it very well. Again, Caustic wants buildings. He wants things that he can hold. This is going to be very interesting. I'm not sure where they can actually... I mean, of course, we're going to know where the... Let's wait to see where the next circle is first before we draw any judgments, because otherwise I could sit here and talk about this circle for a minute and then nothing what I said is actually accurate. Typically, when it's on this side like this, it tends to lean more towards like this area. like just this side. But you know, it is Apex, it is RNG. A lot of these end circles can vary a lot and pull in some crazy ways. This is one devilish circle that can happen right here. And then there's also like one out here. These are probably the ones you'll see somewhere around these 3 areas. Which, if it's any of these, man, this is gonna be rough for them. They're gonna have to play like edge caustic or something. They're gonna have to try to get like maybe I would imagine they're probably just gonna try to play like something like down here, anything where they can just get cover and stay alive. Because like I said, it's rough being caught. I doubt they're gonna touch anything over here because teams are already here. There's 17 teams in this tiny ass circle, so there's gonna be a lot of hell breaking loose by the next 2 zones closing. They might even they can't really play underneath. They don't have a path to get up. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to take the south area. But again, there could easily be teams roaming around here and fucking them up. This is gonna be a tough rotate for them, very tough. I'd be very surprised they come out here and actually end up being in a really good spot. What about that wing? Wait, wasn't there a wingman? No. Alright, so it does look like you're gonna be hitting that like south end of the train station, kinda. I'm gonna slow down when he starts rotating. I mean, I'll take the Hemlock over the Mozam. Oh yeah, I guess they don't have to go too far. They can sit. So, this is gonna be tough. If they play this, I mean, they might just not be able to get anything else, which is very, very likely. Like I said, there's a lot of fucking teams in this small area. If they play this, though, they might be screwing themselves over, because the only way to basically rotate through this is the zip lines that are in front of them. They could be fucking themselves for the next rotate, but at the same time, they might not be able to get there. They might not be able to gain the ground. I don't know all the information that Hakus has, because I think he's the one doing the scouting and calling the calls. This is a good, this is a very timely. If he can ult that corner, that would actually be huge.
Ja, det kommer. Vi har skitbra position. Måste hålla med vänster dock. Måste hålla med vänster.
Jag springer ner gasen. Ja, en till.
Håll där, Lodi. Håll där. Du har ingen range.
Wait, they're actually kind of, what is this zone?
Watson! Crack! Watson!
There's no way, so there's no way the zone doesn't pull up here, because this is like a common one. But this one, like being with this still intact, doesn't surprise me.
Ja, de försöker luta.
Jag bara är nere på long range.
They'll be good for a while.
Ja, wingman.
I mean, they're just hard chilling. Their rotate in is going to be really fucking hard.
Om vi droppar upp, kan vara massive.
What they could do is have their wraith go up that zip and then portal down for them, because that zip is going to be really scary to go over. And maybe I don't even know where they play. The problem is anywhere they rotate like around this area, any place they rotate is going to be tough, just because this high ground up here exists. This team's gonna have like supreme control over a lot of ground. Not saying they should do this. Wait, what the fuck is this zone? Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if this zone's ever happened before, but I have never seen this zone. I have never seen this zone. This zone is garbage. What the fuck is this, dude? Holy shit. I've actually never seen the zone. I mean, not saying that can't happen. I'm sure I haven't seen every single zone in the game, but this one is beyond me. I would never have called this one in a million years. That's crazy. They got really fucking lucky, dude. Damn it! I want to see them deal with a very hard rotation. Thus far, we've only seen them kind of get the fucking circle the entire time. Remember, this original circle was over Harvester. And it's ending all the way down here, which is fine, but like, I want to see them like do big rotates, because that's hard to do as Caustic. Alright, well, so far, what looked like an extremely losing spot, because they'd have to go over the zip lines to rotate, now all of a sudden is an extremely strong spot. Like, what is the team gonna do up here? There's only gonna be one team on this. Every other team is shitting themselves, because I bet you no other team knows what to do right now. This ending, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, but people don't pick Pathfinder to grapple instead. They pick him like 60 to 70% of the reason they pick him. It's ending on the other side. Holy moly. I love this. This is funny, actually. I love this. Not a lot of Caustics do that. They actually use the barrels.
Jag ska låsa ner.
Ser du också ner?
Ja.
Kanske ska slänga ut på andra borta. Eller du kommer... Ja, du kan ta det.
Hoppa till honom, hoppa till honom.
Jag kan inte...
Budget Gibraltar right here. Holy shit, dude. Actual budget
Jag måste
Jivy.
få upp sen också.
They need to just chill. They need to just chill
Jag har
and
14
wait.
skott, jag har 14
Let everybody else fight.
Till vad?
Är det bra då? Kan jag bomba
Jag
som
har
vi?
8. Jag har
It's working. Look, squads are dying. They just got a lot more placement points for doing that.
Nej.
He has no ammo. He has 14 bullets and a Mozambique.
Han är kackad. Har du någonting med den eller?
Jag har 6
Oh
skott.
no, it's not worth it.
En upp och en
The
annan.
shots aren't worth it.
Han har armor swaps.
Han är skyldig.
10% total.
I don't know, Sauce. Would you do set circles that everybody knows, but they change every map? I'm not saying it's a set circle every single time. One set circle, but it's a different circle every map or every round.
Klättra upp här på mig Lolly.
Or would you rather do you have to deal with these shit circles that come out of nowhere? You know?
Håll han under va?
Jag
I
kommer
mean, again, it's hard to tell because we haven't played that other one. What the fuck is this, bro? This might be one of the worst circles I have seen
Jag är fine här.
in this game in a tournament.
Döda han, döda biten!
What is this?
Sista, jag måste skruva. Döda biten bak på andra plats.
Ja, jag är död. Lava one-shot om oss.
Nej.
Nej, det är synd ändå.
I mean, who's to say set circles can't be that though, Sauce?
Det är bra.
Like, they can still be a shit circle, but at least you know what's coming.
Guld också.
Ja, det är inga vapen där för att döda dem.
Kom inte upp.
They could do that, actually, showed, yeah. I mean, they got a good game out of that. They actually got, like, solid placement. I don't know if they got a lot of kills, but they definitely got solid placement. That's just like, dude, that's...
100% kill på en till alltså.
How do you play that circle?
Andra plats. Andra plats.
I would be very surprised if any team ever saw that circle. I mean, I've never seen it.
Ja, okej.
Maybe someone else has. I know I don't scrim as much as I used to, but
Jag är fine.
that one definitely took me by surprise. Overall, very good game. I mean, not much to really commentate on that one, to be honest. Like, they just sat in thermal the entire game. They got blessed with circle and got third. All right, finally a circle that's not going to be immediately in their favor. And this is actually this circle is actually really hard for them in general, because not only is it, you know, kind of like on the other side of the map. Look at this. The part of the circle that's in, like, what are they even gonna play here that's meaningful, right? Basically, this part, for them, this part of the circle doesn't even exist. They have to go fucking somewhere over here, you know? I mean, they could actually do, like, some crazy rotates where they go, like, way around. They could just chill and train. I doubt they will, but they could. They might actually take Tunnel. Tunnel actually wouldn't be a bad idea for them here. Tunnel's a really strong spot to hold if you have the guns for it. But let's talk actual circle spots here. I'm not like all too familiar with a lot of the cap circles this season, but I know there's a very common one right around here where like a part of it is in the lava. Obviously you have like El Clasicos out here, but I haven't even seen them all that much this season. I know there's one like right out here. Epicenter. There is one out here. There's obviously this entire like area. There is one out here, I believe. And then there's a couple in Fragment East. I know there's one in this corner. I believe there might be I actually have seen one. Only one though. I think it was a scrim circle where it actually ended like this on this fucking bridge. That shit was that's a funny ending. You know, if you're a spectator, if you're just watching it like a match and you see that circle, you're probably gonna be like, holy fuck, that's crazy. What, this one? The bridge one? I admittedly have not been watching scrims as much as I should have, but that's probably it. I mean, this is gonna be a pretty simple circle for them in terms of how to play it. More than likely. I assume that they're going to just take any building that's available in cap. So this is like one of those circles, like I said, where it's very safe, a lot of real estate, there's a lot of places to play. So like, even though, like I said, effectively this circle for them is a bit of a longer rotation because this is basically the circle, there's so much they can play here, and I'm sure they'll get there in time. Oh yeah, that was the other list, right? There was another list that said they were 6.
Hon har 32 hörs.
Ja, håll. Låt dem inte droppa.
Han droppar inte droppa. Han kommer inte göra det. 134 hörs.
Did they set a trap for them?
Jag måste använda Phoenix och Bat. Eller Magic och Bat.
That looked like it.
Alla wrong i charge bara. Det var en borta till vänster också i supply.
Kika man.
Mo, did you see my Twitter clip?
Like that nades.
Lower set sick.
Därför är fortfarande borta.
He's ascending. Better watch out. Smart call for them to just go back around. I'm surprised they didn't just go through the tunnel. It's so funny how much people avoid tunnels this early in the game, but like these tunnels are so fucking strong. Especially if you want to hold them out. It's not the best spot for a Caustic to hold out. I should have had a pink pixel there. But, you know, they could have, I mean, depending on, I guess, where they wanted to go, I don't see, again, it's hard to call because I can't see, or I can't hear what they're saying. But, I would have imagined they go through this tunnel anyways.
Vit armor, vit Evo.
Men nej då.
De är close med vänster.
De ska inte upp dem.
Super close med. Wait, 50.
Jag kommer.
Kacka Nora! Kacka på mig.
Kommer skjuta bak dem.
Skjuta ryggen bara, spöslå.
Let's see what goes on here. They're kind of in a bit of a pinch. They're surrounded here. So I'm just really, let's see how they get out of this.
Jag måste ställa.
This team looks fucked down here though.
Jag håller bak.
Här.
I feel like he's got a lot of no regs there.
Nästan knock.
Jag håller på att fästa här uppe vid choken. Jag är på vägen ner. 15. Jag måste ladda av.
Kvala inte mig safe. Vi kan bara hålla här. Det är lätt att hålla här.
Vi kommer.
Springer här borta.
Yeah, they're. Oof. I mean, obviously rotating to get away from this fuckfest is not a bad idea, or portaling. But now they're not gonna have it to get where they want to go. They might just hold this choke.
Måste upp här.
I'm playing or watching. I am watching. I am VOD reviewing and analyzing their gameplay.
Dillon.
Ja, det är samma lag, tror jag.
I should have said I'm playing and then done this.
Alltså.
Han har vit.
Jävlar, så är det.
Jag laddar dem i short.
Jag tar upp lite här också, så vi kan spela båda.
Is he using the silhouettes? Damn. Excellent.
Så vi kan spela här. Det är lite bättre om de skulle pusha oss från det här hållet. Men sen är det suger. Riktigt mycket. Jag hade gubben.
I mean, it's not a terrible bad spot that they're in right now. It's just not the most ideal with the Caustic.
Det är inte samma.
It is doable though. Lowly, I realize, is such a smart Caustic too. Like they're not just good at like predicting circle and playing Caustic because of it. Like Lowly is actually a smart ass fucking Caustic. A smart ass fucking Caustic. Which is making this a little bit extra more fun to watch. I need the map, please, Lily. I know you're a little bit busy holding at the spot, but please show me the map. There we go. Thank you. Not a bad read on the circle, Sauce. Not a bad read. All right, so let's take a look. Yo, wait, we got the pen tools and everything, man. We're literally fucking coach sick out here. All right, so we got the tools. It could still pull back out to like toward this area. This is a very common one right out here. There has been one a couple times out here as well. This is a common one. It can still pull out here, down here as well. So don't sleep on this one. But my guess is going to be somewhere around those. And if it is, it will also be very interesting to see. Because again, their late game here in this game could be very well determined by, I mean, this is obviously like a duh forehead moment, but it's very easily determined by where the circle actually pulls. Because if it pulls anywhere down here and they manage somehow to get a house, it's probably unlikely at this point. But if they manage to get any kind of really, really good cover, then I think they'll be fine. But like playing Caustic anywhere out in this area right now is going to be rough for them. It's going to be very rough. I imagine they're probably going to try to skirt by over here somewhere. And this is actually interesting. This is the first time I actually get to see them rotate into a circle. They've been getting it for the most part the entire time. So I am curious to see this. They could even play like underneath the bridge too, just for now. I'm imagining they're gonna, like, they can't go far, right? They don't have portal. Hackers just use that portal to get them here. So they're gonna have to probably play like literally whatever they could find. Maybe some of the rocks area in here. I'm imagining. It's gonna be rough for them either way. I would be surprised if they actually make it to like the late circle.
Nej, två lag här nere.
Ska vi bara ta fighterna eller?
I wish I knew if they were saying that it's gonna end there, or if they were saying that they gotta watch out for that, or what. I don't know. Or if they want that. Especially because I know your experience in comp Apex hasn't been as long as some other, as many other pros, so it was definitely very good. Ooh, nice shots. See, bro, people call me fucking crazy, but I genuinely believe that the Sentinel is better than the Longbow for reasons like this. People disrespect the shit out of the Sentinel. People don't realize how much damage this gun actually does. Like, no, numbers-wise, it's not all about DPS, by the way. Yeah, also, actually, yeah, Alliance has been fucking Kuya like the entire tournament that we've been watching thus far. But everybody, don't always look at guns and just be like, oh, well, this gun does more DPS than this gun, so it's probably better. Like, guns aren't all about DPS. The practical use of them is so fucking important. I personally believe the Sentinel is way better than the Longbow for the reasons like this, just for the massive damage that it does in one well-placed shot. 74 to any low-profile character to the body is huge. It basically cracks blue armor in one shot. And then a headshot is somewhere over 100 damage, depending on their helmet. But still, that's crazy. Loli's using it here in obviously like big 3v3 fight. But the biggest strength I think the Sentinel has is its ability to kill steal when people are third partying. Or not third partying, sorry, when two teams are fighting and you're trying to third party. If you're smart and you wait until the teams are like hard engaging, like say like they have a jibby, right? And because when you're actually watching fights from a distance, you can kind of tell which person's gonna go down, like who's the target of focus for both teams. When you can tell which target is gonna go down, and you kind of wait for them to eat like half an R9 mag and then you shoot, that's an easy fucking kill steal right there. And people disregard the Sentinel in that regard so much. I don't think it's the best sniper, but it's really, really good at getting extra, like, a couple, you can easily snag kill points better with it than probably any other sniper. Other than maybe a choked triple take. It also does just about the same amount of damage. But still, it's so good, and for reasons like this. Like, Kuya basically just hard disrespected the damage right here. And like, even if it doesn't kill you, if you're in a fight and you take a shot from a Sentinel for 74 damage, minimum, you're a fucking madman if you re-peek that without healing. That's 3 cells. Like, what the fuck?
36, jag kan inte pusha ner, jag kan inte pusha ner.
Look at that. Kuya didn't heal all the way from whatever damage he took. He did not respect the damage at all from this gun. And he ate shit for it. That wasn't even a headshot, that was just a body. 132, like, that's almost a fucking Kraber shot. Again, I'm not over here trying to tell you that Sentinel's the best sniper in the game, but it's not as bad as people say it is. Is there a reason to pick it up in ranked in pubs? Absolutely not. The game, ranked in pubs move too fast for it to really be all that useful. But when you're actually playing smart, planning your rotations, planning movements, having to use your snipers smart, Sentinel's a fantastic choice. It's still just fine. Is G7 the best sniper? It's not technically a sniper, but it's still, yeah, really fucking good. Time killer.
Bryt it! De pushar mig. Jag måste backa av och hila. Har ni bass med? Droppa bass.
Oh, this could be a big... Oh! Dude, that's so... Oh, that's gotta feel so fucking bad, bro. That's gotta feel so bad. That's not the first time that's happened either in this series. It happened in game 1 too.
De sprang runt, tror jag. De sprang runt. Finisha backen.
De har sprungit.
This is a good idea for them though, to take this out. I mean, if I'm being honest, they are going a little long. They have to, I don't think they planned a rotation out here, so this could end up biting them in the ass. For rotating in, like there comes a certain point where, like, if you don't clean up a fight, like, you always have to keep in mind the timer, because they don't have a safe rotation. The only safe rotate they have is with Wraith, which I believe she probably has her portal up by now. But they don't have like a safe, they don't have a jibby, they don't have a safe rotate in. If they're caught out in the, without a portal, or they don't get a good spot, like, I doubt they know where all these teams are right now. So this could be dangerous, depending on how it plays out. They could also, again, I don't know what their comms are, they could just be saying, hey, just play for kills. Like, we just gotta go kill them right now. Which is totally fair, that's a fair call. Like, if you are ever in a fucked situation where you don't know what to do, you can't rotate anywhere safely, a perfectly okay call is just to say play for kills. Just get as many kills as we can right now. Because kill points are big. You don't have to be a high placing team. If you can just frag, you'll do just fine in a tournament. What's the best mid to long range weapon for Wraith if I suck it with Wingman? R3. Or even Havoc. Havoc is good too. Maybe not for long range. R3 is a little bit better for long range. Yeah, so they are playing the bridge. So plus side to, I mean, 18 squads. I think most people would probably expect there to be a team on the outskirts here on the bridge, but this is one of those circles, like I said, where there is so much real estate that most people are going to rotate in, and it was surprisingly easy to find an actual spot. This bridge is definitely going to do them well for now, and it's a good place for Caustic to hold too, so it's smart for them to take this, especially as we're going to afterwards.
Det var de vi nästan dödade som sprang ner här.
Jag vill göra portal och leta här i sidan.
What are they? Let's see what they're going for now. If they can get any building, that's even better.
Safe needs to come on.
That's even better. Yeah, I think you said safe. Or whatever the Swedish version of safe is. Yeah, that's even better. Buildings are 100% Caustic's home.
Jag kollar om nästa huset här.
Again, I'll just reiterate it because I don't know how many people were here and how many weren't. But Caustic is the best building defender in the game, way better than Watson. You can push a house with Watson. You got to take your time a little bit, you know, kill some of the traps, make sure you can get in there, maybe grief the ult if you can see it. You can't push a building with a good Caustic. It's just not going to happen. He will hold you out until another team comes and kills you. What's up, Bixel? Yes, absolutely. Hope you're doing well. I can hit people with G7 on 400 meters with 3x, so why remove it? Dude, I don't know, man. They actually would have nerfed the G7 a lot. You were right. Sauce, you called it right. It is the North Frag West Circle. Nice little portal. Retake?
Ja, jag kommer
Lag här,
ihåg.
lag här. Beama dem. De har satt upp ult i allting.
Jag är rädd. Watson crack.
That man just ate a full fucking. How much does full charge rifle do? It's also around like I think it's 69 to 70, right? That man just ate 144 in half a fucking second on white armor. He actually just ate like 144 damage in half a second.
Ja, jag kommer ihåg.
Lag här. Beama dem.
With white armor. Look at this.
Watson crack.
Like, what do you do about that? Holy shit.
Jag använder den ult.
Well, that's actually pretty big for them. This team just rotated out. Now, the Hermit Crab, you heard it here, and you might be hearing it on the Apex broadcast a lot because apparently the caster started using it. This is the Hermit Crab. These guys move now. They just basically paved the way for Alliance to grab a spot for now and move from there.
30 på Wraithen. Här uppe har vi en kille.
Gibby.
I like it so far, IPN. They play it well, man. I'm very impressed.
Leta. Jag tar upp och leta.
Like, not only are they good at playing, like, around a Caustic, Loli is actually a good Caustic. Like, he's actually a really good Caustic. He uses his barrels very, very wisely.
Ja, vi måste pusha fram.
Kom ut då.
This is not a strategy that everyone can pull off, that's for sure.
Jag ultar dem.
No, for that reason, I don't think he'll be meta. But that's fucking good ult. He actually, actually, let's just play it. Let's play it.
Låt dem fan inte komma på vänster.
Jag bettar.
Vi är safe här. Jag håller bara.
Jag håller vänster. Ingen vänster.
Alright, they only got that pick. Look at that.
Give it up.
This ult is so good for many reasons. He actually Kobe'd this shit like right through the hook right there. So you see he gets 2 hits immediately. So he hits at least 2 targets. Oh, I think this is the team with the Watson that got fucking blown up. Yeah, so obviously this is the biggest. This is one. Even if you don't get hits with Caustic's ult, if you just zone a team, you are doing big effective damage to them. You see them both immediately splitting. The Wraith and the Jibby. The Wraith goes over here. She can't help her Jibby at all because she can't fucking see him, and Jibby is forced to go out here, or he takes a shit ton of damage into the gas. And now it's basically a 3v1 now.
Give me crack. Knock.
Give it up.
Wraith just has to run.
Låt dem fan inte komma på vänster.
That's big.
Jag bettar.
You know, that's so fucking big.
Jag håller bara.
Like, Caustic is insanely strong. I've been saying it the whole time. It's just, he's very high risk, high reward, you know? Much like using crypto or anything else.
Bakom oss bara.
Somebody needs to grab that red
Han
though.
hade röd armor.
What terminology, when you guys play with your teams and whatnot, what terminology do you guys use to
Portalen nere.
talk about a full Evo? Because like red, you can't use red, right? Because everybody is normally red. You know, red is normal HP.
Ja, de pickar vänster. Håll bara.
Jag stänger
You're a
tunneln.
red, now red, that's weird. I mean, some people call flesh damage red damage. I've heard some people calling it pink. That's kind of weird. Fleshy was not everyone says flesh though. Kevin, fuck man. God, you're annoying. Just kidding. That was a joke.
Få höger, få höger. Få gas höger, få gas höger.
Jag har ingen tunna.
Akta vänster sida.
Jag måste bara klia höger. Kontroll! Nedanför här.
Jag ställer mig.
Vi
De fightar vänster, de fightar vänster.
Retag, guld.
Jag kollar.
Han är över mig. Wait on me, kackan 100.
Always said never change your sense.
Knock. En till.
Nice.
I mean, I would say that to most general players.
Jag
So.
ställer. Jag har Phoenix. Jag har Phoenix.
But pro players have to figure out what's wrong with their aim.
De bubblar här.
Jag måste tillbaka hila.
Han knockar, eller finisher.
Kan vi pusha dem i dörren?
Jag healar bak.
Gör det.
Jag har bara cells, jag slow healar. Jag har inga medskits, bats eller någonting.
So they're basically, dude, they're actually like, what's impressive right now is how much work they're doing as an edge team, basically.
Vi har ju här nere. Det är folk där nere.
Ja. Kan vi köra dem kanske?
Vi har pushat något tillsammans.
Ja, vänta Lolly.
Låt mig hela. 2 sekunder.
Jag ser ingen. Man kan vara djupare ner.
Här nere.
Nice, gasa på dem.
Vilka?
Vicka!
40!
Jag arkade. Arka!
Gross Peacekeeper skin. I mean, it's a cool looking skin, but the Einstein's not. IPN! Get shit on! Get shit on!
Ja, 10 sekunder.
Sorry.
Jag fick bat.
Folk är borta.
Guldig.
Breakad Wraithen.
Jag tar den.
Kommer.
Ja, ta den.
Tack.
Den
Jag kan
är...
inte, det är armor, skit.
Ah.
I got 8th and 2 solo kills, okay? Not bad.
Okej, jag börjar...
That's not bad, actually.
Watson är med. Watson 1.
Spring in bara.
Breakad Paffen. Paffen eller Gibbet. Han blir knockad av en annan.
Gå höger. Kom till mig.
Springer där nere till vänster.
Kom till mig.
Vi är på dem.
Håll höger. Gasa höger.
Jag har gasat.
Poppa dem.
Raven 1,
Alla döda. Vi har högern. Håll bara höger. Gasa höger.
Jag gasar. Han är nere. Knock.
Baff.
Fight knock.
It's actually crazy what they're doing right now.
Jag tar surface. Håll bara.
What the fuck?
Mastiff.
This isn't the way a Caustic team is supposed to.
Breaka där borta.
This isn't the amount of freedom they're supposed to have.
Ras under.
Håll bara.
They're literally playing this like a Jibby team, like just on the edge,
Där
chilling.
borta.
But they're just killing everybody.
De är låga.
Watson knock.
Thermite.
Jibby.
En Bruno.
Han får ladda.
De skjuter under oss. De får en Q.
Oh, this is what happens when you can just aim too. If you have good
Jag
shots.
crackar dem.
De har ingen ult där. De har ingen Watson. Vänta ut bubblan bara. Jag måste försöka luta om ni kan.
Ja,
Yes.
det är inga neds.
Jag behöver light ammo.
Well, they got the big Caustic ult. We're in the open. Ooh, if they're fighting, I was gonna say this ult could win the entire game. He does it right.
Döda solon, sen dödar vi dem.
Yeah. Last 2 teams are fighting. Oh my god, this is just. You can't lose this. There's no way you lose this. Look at that. Look at that fucking. Oh my god.
Sista Q.
Nice boys! Dude! Vi fucking bäst alltså!
How did. That looked so easy.
Jag hade kills detta gamet
Holy
kan jag
shit,
lova.
that looked so easy for them. I mean, they're a good team, but that looked so easy.
Jag tror jag hade 10 kills detta gamet.
What up, Kenzo? How you doing, man?
Jag skojar inte. Antingen 9
Yeah, they just third partied after third partied after third partied. That's fucking crazy, actually. They literally played this like a Gibraltar team. They just played Edge. They just killed Edge teams. Here, actually, let's
Jag
go.
har gasat.
They killed, so, but prior to this push, I think the only kill they had was on Kuya way out here, right? And then that team, I think, probably rotated through the Skyhook tunnel. They literally just played this like a Gibraltar team, dude. That's fucking crazy. They got this kill. They got this pick on this Watson up here, which is actually massive, absolutely massive.
Du bara säger. Vänta, luta.
Right.
Tracka.
But then after that, they literally just played like a Jibby team. They just got handed third party after third party win. They didn't have to like fight for a position. They didn't have to necessarily like hold down a position, fight for a position. This, well, I mean, this ult was huge, but I think this is only two people, right?
Ja, vi måste pusha fram. Ja, vi måste pusha fram.
Like this was a nuts ult. This ult won them the fight. It doesn't matter. Even if it was a full 3, they would have won ult here.
Fan inte komma på sättet.
Jag battar.
And yes, this is a Swedish team. By the way, Kenzo.
Fan, bäcka fansen, jag måste luta.
No, Mark, I don't.
Han har guld armor.
Fasta bakom oss bara.
Han hade röd armor.
I think Caustic is a
Ligger lila,
niche strat that will only work for certain teams.
Portalen nere.
Caustic almost did make it to NA. I actually told the story at the beginning at the start of this VOD review. I told the story about Caustic right before the X Games, and almost everybody was running him. And then X Games came around, and nobody was running him. It's not gonna work for everybody. They really just ran through everyone. But I mean, look at this. Like, this is such like that's such smart that's just such smart Caustic play right there. Right? Like, obviously this gas isn't hitting anyone, but it's a deterrent. It's not supposed to. It's like fucking riot gas right there. Riot gas? Is that a thing? Yeah, tear gas. That's what I'm thinking of. Right? It's a deterrent. Like, Loli plays his Caustic really fucking smart. He thinks about zoning so much.
Jag har ingen tunna.
Akta vänster.
Yeah, I mean, like, they didn't do anything like too crazy, except for like, yeah, they just killed edge teams.
Knock, en till. Tappa den. Jag har Phoenix.
IPN getting claps over there. They just cleaned up the edge, which is crazy to me because Caustic is typically not supposed to be good there. I mean, well played, good shit. Like, not saying like they're bad or anything. Like, obviously that's just they played everything well. They got another win. It's pretty crazy. But no, I think he plays such a smart Caustic. Like, the way he actually uses his abilities is so smart. Did you say lasagna? Love this so far. This is going pretty alright for them being all Swedish, but I really love talking about comms. It's unfortunate I just don't understand anything they're saying. If there's anything I can say from what I've noticed, because I have been paying attention to like kind of like the intensity of the comms and exactly what they're saying and how they're reacting when something is said, they are very fucking on the same page. There's a lot of leadership, or at least trust within each other, because I don't know Hakus's voice. I know he's the IGL. I don't really know which one is his voice. I don't know their voices apart. So if there's one thing I have noticed about Alliance is that late game, their fucking comms have to be on point, because I hear like one person like say something like repeated a couple times, and everyone's doing it. They don't seem to be very split. So the leadership is there. The team respect is there in terms of everyone respecting each other's calls. So that is one thing I've definitely noticed. They are very they listen to each other a lot, which, hey, can't say that for every team out there. Yeah, see, I was worried about the very first VOD review I did and threw up on YouTube was NRG, and I was worried that I'd like never get a video that high again because NRG is such a team or fan favorite. I think the TSM one might surpass them though. I hope it does.
You serious?
Yeah. I don't know if Loli has been opening his map or not, because I've been wanting to see. But yeah, I don't know how they're rotating so fucking freely. They rotated from thermal and haven't seen a single fucking team. Okay, circle. Come on. Loli, don't you want to know where the circle ends, buddy? Please.
Small device.
It's a new zone, Loli. You don't know where it is. Oh, thank you. That would probably make sense as to why. So this first circle, generally, like, I mean, this is obviously not going to be completely true. But this first circle, generally, like, look at that shit. This is why Cap was so free. Or this is why everything. They rotated all the way from thermal all the way up through here and didn't see a single team. And that would be why. Is the circle generally, if the circle's generally around this, like, past fragment west or whatever, people are going to rotate towards like the middle and grab whatever real estate. Epicenter is tough to get really good real estate in, but that's basically why you saw a lot of free shit. I think most people knew this wasn't ending in Cap, especially if any Pathfinder teams are landing there and grabbing beacons too. That's a big one too. All right, so this one's been a bit fucky since season 4. You do see there's one kind of like way out here. There's an ending back here. Doesn't happen as often. I think there's an ending out here. There's a very big ending out here. That's a very common one, actually. You might see that one. I think like one up here as well. These are probably the ones that you're likely to see. Again, this will be very interesting, because I'm curious where they balloon to as well. Because this is very open, right? And this is like a Caustic's worst nightmare, right? Caustic wants circles in like here or here, somewhere where there's constant cover, constant buildings. Skyhook is really good for Caustic as well. Anything that has lots of buildings that he can constantly shift to, you know. That's where he shines. Playing out open cover like this is really fucking bad. But again, Loli is really, really creative with his Caustic, and he finds ways to keep teams off of his team, even out in the open. So, I'm curious to see where they balloon, because it looks like they might be going for a more inside position. If the ping, again, I don't understand Swedish, so I don't really know what they're saying or what they're communicating, but we have a ping out here, and typically they've been going towards the pings. Maybe they're just predicting where the circle's going to end. This would be a very good spot, actually, for them to grab a spot. Right at the north end of Overlook, in one of these buildings. Because it could be out there too, but in general, again, you want to go towards buildings. And especially like this whole high ground area is also really good to play off of right after that. So very curious to see where they balloon here, because I want to see them play one of these open circles being in the circle rather than playing edge. I was hoping we'd see it a little bit more last game, but they literally played edge and just rolled everybody. Alright, this is a good spot to take for sure. Oh, right. I'm like, why is that so fast? Is this last patch fucking scout? Holy shit. 2 damage. 2 damage. Come on, you got this, Loli. So, I mean, obviously, I'm sure they'd like to be in a lot more, but it's going to be hard to do that in this open of a circle, rotating with through a Caustic. So, I guess they are basically forced to play edge. You kind of have to if you're not in. With a Caustic, at least, like, there's not much you can do. Scout, by the way. I'm surprised at how many pro players. I mean, obviously, like, Loli's not the IGL here, but I am still surprised at how many pro players just don't ever open up their maps. I am literally, like, incessantly spamming the map, always, like, taking a quick look at it to, like, maybe think about, like, maybe something else I can play, or even to help out. There are some people that literally just, like, I was watching Albertoli's VOD for the TSM VOD, and that motherfucker does not barely opens his map up. I mean, I guess he doesn't have to when Reps and Hal literally call everything. He just shoots things, but still. I just want to know. I just want to see the map, dude. I mean, I do it. I mean, I have faith in my IGL as well, Larry. But I always just like to do it just so I also know what's going on, you know. Personally, I mean, it's like almost like a nervous tick for me, like. Kind of. Moving early is good though. I like this rotation. Because it's on like the very polar north. Oh, I should have said north polar. It wouldn't have grammatically made sense, but phonetically it would have made sense. Anyways, the very north polar part of the map, there aren't very many teams back here. The only team they would really have to watch out for is the team that's like on the like ridge, on the eastern ridge, that kind of like looks over everything. It's like a really strong power spot. There might be a team in Refinery. But yeah, the only team they'd really have to like look out for is like the teams that are, there's like a team like out in this area kind of scouting, literally scouting. So it's a good rotate. I really like it because if they rotate anywhere down, I guess you can't see it. If they rotate like anywhere down here, they're going to be running into so many teams. They're going to be sandwiched in between teams. This is definitely a smart rotate, but it comes down to this team, like I said. They have the power to hold them out really fucking hard, depending on how they rotate. Sorry, my legs are really itchy. I mean, I agree with this. It's a good rotation. It's just there's teams fighting too. They could use that as a distraction. It could be rough because of just this rotation is dominated by that, like I said, this hill spot up here. But yeah, rotating like all the way through like hard this north side is a really smart idea.
Jag har inte scope på mig. Eller ammo.
Knock in!
Kom.
Först på dörren!
Knock!
Nej. Bara får ju ulta, bäcka ulten och ulta.
I'm curious how this, I wish I knew how this opportunity was created.
Ultar förstörd. Lägger in norr.
Dö inte!
Nej, jag fan.
That's a big ult. Very smart too on the angle. Oh my god.
Jag måste chilla.
He's actually farming damage, bro.
Ja.
Oh, they're down, I guess.
Ja, han är fronten.
Bro, imagine you're just holding a trailer peacefully, and then a Caustic just comes up and farts on your entire trailer, and then he's like, "Hey, this is mine now."
Jag måste skruva. Jag går in bara och skruvar.
Jag springer tillbaka lite.
Jag
Var
tar
ni just nu? Ja, kom bort.
Jag blir knockad.
Kom. In.
Jag är knockad, men vad?
Okej. Jag sitter bara och gömmer.
Det är bara en grabb.
Han spring ut.
Ja, kom till mig Lolo.
Like I said, this is gonna be this was either way. This is gonna be a rough rotation
Han är vid dörren, han är vid
for
dörren.
them
Han är på mig nu.
because this is exactly what Caustic sucks at.
Han blir man skjuten.
This game 4 game.
Ett uppe. Han är där mig.
Har du
Pusha nu,
bär?
White.
Jag håller på att rätta,
Direkt efteråt pusha. Han har armus hoppade. Han är låg upp. Han kommer törsta mig.
Jag är på väg.
Han är i hörnet här.
Ett uppe.
In bara. Du måste rasta mig. Nice, rasta mig och håll. Jag har armus hopp.
Big.
Akta dig Lolo.
No.
Innan hörnet.
Elden knockad.
He almost just died to his own thermal. If he was any other character, he dies to his own thermal right there. But the fortified buff just saved him. But thank you, I do appreciate it. That's where it was rough. That was realistically the only rotation they could have done. Obviously it was a little bit shaky. I'm surprised it's not getting third party. I'm actually really surprised it's not getting third party by the team that's in the house, like via a Wraith portal or something to set up for like safety. It might still be, but either way, this is a rough rotation. This is exactly why Caustic is not picked. Is because it's just really hard. When you don't have the circle, when you have to rotate through the fucking wide open, it's just not easy. It's not gonna be easy for you. But hey, they at least, I don't know how they got that intro damage on Shiv, I think it was that they picked. But hey, they did it. They got the spot.
Håll dem va.
Jag
See if they actually survive it. Yes, Cinnamon, I just got done talking about it.
Fucking nice.
Thank you, by the way.
Akta utifrån. På andra sidan gatan. Northeast. Han sitter inne i hörnet. Gull. Kacka upp.
Jag håller på att poppa ultaxar just nu.
I mean, they definitely got blessed on this circle a little bit. It is ending kind of up by those rocks. Like, they don't have to go far, so that's like the little bit of a blessing that they got. The unfortunate problem is, even though they don't have to go far, there's not really much they can play out here. So this is ending right past the tractor, or right past the house, and like the part of the tractor is still in. So they could, if they actually, if they get actually Caustic ult into this tractor, they can win this one too and just play the next tractor. The next rotation might be really hard if they don't RNG circle though, because it's such a wide open rotation. There's some cover they can play. There's like fences and shit here too. This isn't completely wide open, but there's definitely a little bit they can do about this. Only thing is that's a little awkward is there's a team in the tractor and a team in the house. Let's see how this plays out.
Någon som har bett?
I call them tractors.
Jag har ett bad. Jag låter mig upp pratar.
Oh wait, that one in front of them is actually open.
Papper. Fika. Bara sätt upp.
If they have a Watson ult, they're fucking golden here.
Jag nejdar den. Värsta, jag tog först lilla armen.
Det är svårt.
What also amazes me is I don't think I might not have been paying the fullest attention. I don't think I've seen a single Caustic trap shot out. That guy with the scout has no excuse for not shooting this trap out right now. Well, hodsic, why do you care so much about that trap? What does it matter? Well, chat, class, the reason it matters is the only way to really, if you're not Caustic, is to counter Caustic's traps is to obviously literally shoot them. The activation window for you to be able to shoot them and kill them before they actually, like, the activation window of being able to shoot them for them to pop is sooner. So you can actually, you can shoot out the traps before they can pop them. The traps are each on a 30-second cooldown. So if you go through this, like, if you were able to isolate and shoot the traps out as he's placing them, he's going to be utterly useless. I don't know if this team plans on pushing, but the fact that this guy just beamed like 4 shots at the tractor and he's just letting this, he might still shoot it, but he's just letting this trap just sit there. Like, I don't understand. There's a lot of players that don't touch these traps. If you shoot out, play Caustic, anyone, just play Caustic for like a couple days. Constant. If anyone shoots out your traps, all of a sudden, your shit kind of, it gets a lot harder to play Caustic. Because you're nothing without your gas.
Jag stoppar den lilla på matten.
They're actively shooting in here. They're not shooting the trap though. I don't understand.
What's
I
on
don't
dog?
understand that at all.
201!
I actually don't understand this at all.
Han kör upp, han kör upp.
Jag eldar toppen, jag eldar
Akta
toppen.
bakom oss, vår gamla trailer. De vill på tal dit. Bara gasa utanför oss när solen stänger. Bara gasa ut, inte in i trailern. Killa upp nu, dö inte.
Jag jobbar utanför.
Där.
Håll bara.
There we go. Finally they shot him out. Well,
Jag står in
they missed on this first one.
Han är på taket, Det är fine, han kommer dö där. Håll nicka bara. Hoppa tunneln utåt när vi börjar bra.
Han sitter uppe i sjön så trafikar mot. Jag vet inte om lilan här är tagen, annars har vi Amos.
Down to 15? No, it's not 15.
Den
Is
är
it
lite
50% on the helmet?
sönder.
Then it is. It's 50%. That's crazy. No, it's not 50%. It's like
Är de inne i huset eller?
30 or 40.
no.
I don't know. I don't remember the exact number.
De måste ut. De tog kval, gjorde de.
Jag
På andra
Amos.
sidan. Han tog klar nu.
Taget.
De tog kval.
Not a bad idea. Like, that's creative for that team to take the roof, but not really. They're actually gonna get fucking beat. That team that's on the roof is gonna get beaten by anyone. I'd be surprised if they survive, but look at this. Literally, almost anyone can beam this roof hard if they really wanted to. And I'm sure they will, because the entire tractor's not even in, so it's like, they're not gonna have a lot of room up there. Very bold rotation by the team that's in the house.
Det är bara...
Crack.
Breakar! Och så ska man ihåg.
Ja, jag toppar, jag måste skruva. Ja, gå inte utanför.
Min gas.
Big, that's a big fucking trap. Sucks up the one inside went off. Ah, I guess not, actually.
Finish.
Big traps, holy shit.
Jag är fast.
That's what I'm talking about. Lola's
Give it up, give
really
it up.
good
Let
at
it
like keeping his team
Jag kan
safe
inte
from
se
traps.
det.
Nej, jag kan inte göra någonting.
Har ni Amos vappat? Annars så.
De kör mig runt, gjorde de.
Guldhjälm här. Jag tar ut axeln.
Här uppe. Du springer här!
Jag är död.
Precis utanför.
Oh my god.
Breakar, det är toppen!
Nice.
Vi måste nog pusha det tror jag. Jag letar i alla fall.
Jag håller dem bara där uppe så de inte kan pika. Du kan finisha. Jag måste mäta. Lowly, du kollar.
Jag håller.
This is gonna be a hellish rotation for them.
Är den här trailern någon
Hellish
på dig?
rotation.
Gasa in i dem, Lolly.
Jag vet inte, alltså jag kan
Kom, du
inte...
kan spela upp mig,
Ja, vänta.
They had to go
Jag måste
along
lägga.
the north side, even though I think
kommer
it's not
det,
gonna
jag
be
kommer det.
likely.
Kom on.
Actually, they might have to just go straight up
Måste
through.
gasa över trailer. Spela den sidan bara. Gasa in på dem. En är på muren fortfarande. Skicka han. Det är ingen
This
här
is
inne,
gonna be tough.
eller? Nej, bra. In.
Jag får väg.
When you're-
Solo.
When you're in a really rough rotation like this, the biggest thing you can do is honestly just wait until like you have to isolate the teams that are the biggest threats to you in terms of your rotation, and then you just have to pray to God they get distracted by somebody else, and then you use that time to move. This
På muren, solo.
Jag har inga cells eller någonting.
Jag kan droppa. Jag har massa cells.
you'd be surprised what rotations you can get sometimes without ever shooting your gun.
Isläder någon.
Ja, det är en solo bakom muren. Jag är uppkall.
Jag hoppar ut axeln bara. Här uppe på ett tag.
Vi är typ inne på mig. Vi bara sitter och gömmer oss här och håller.
Damn, Gabe, don't be toxic.
Håll bara.
If Kurt's proud of that, hell yeah.
Man fightar sönder där borta.
Ja.
Nej, han krossar mig. Jag har inga cells.
Se på upp haggan.
Well,
Nej,
jag tar
där.
på
Jag tar en PP.
seems like it's safe.
Gör det.
Släng mig runt där nere.
Damn, that's a nice portal.
Jag pickar,
Pappa.
håll vinklar bara. Ja! Jag försvann.
Rätt mig. Rätt uppe.
Död.
Jag vet bara.
Håll bara.
Jag bettar.
Och sen
på andra sidan.
Jag måste heala, jag healar.
Jag kommer störa med dem.
Jag gillar.
En uppe! Demotion!
Jag blir...
I'm surprised he hasn't yeeted a. I'm surprised he hasn't yeeted a trap up there.
Kom till mig kanske.
Jag kan inte. Jag måste betta.
He's been very conservative with his traps too.
Du är inne på mig sen bara. Jag håller bara.
Ja.
Gilla bara.
There we go. I was gonna say I would have done that shit long ago.
Jag blir knockad. Kör fram.
I wish I knew what Hakas was doing, because
Wow. Fullt lag där.
Vinkla bara. Överlev. Jag blir död. Han kom till oss. Bra
This is
test.
not very well
Det
played.
var ni. Ni kan spela det jag drog. Gå slow med zon och spela det jag drog.
Har du Phoenix? Kom jag ovanför, eller?
Ja, alltså jag kan inte nästan.
Nej.
now's the time to go, babes. While they're fighting. It's more. I mean, I know what I saw that what he went. I can't understand Swedish, Plum.
Ja, nej.
Oh, there it is. Oh my God. He actually just
Nice fight. Det är lugnt.
he actually just ate like most of that
jag
view
kunde inte, jag var tvungen att pamma lite.
60 sånt här. Oh my god.
Ja, det har 60.
Surge, thank you for the tier 2 for 16 months, man. Thank you so much.
Hade jag
Alright,
haft
let's
tid
talk about that
hade
for a
jag
bit.
kunnat jobba mycket tidigare.
So he actually, Loli seemed to actually, I mean, I don't know, again, I can't understand
Rätt mig!
comms. I don't know what their game plan was here necessarily. Loli played it a little bit differently than he has played the rest of this tournament, though. He didn't use like any of his traps for a solid like 40 seconds to come out of the portal, which surprises me because there was obviously that team. There was that team that was above them for a little bit, you know. Like if it was me, I would have yeeted a fucking trap up there a while ago. Because like right now, if you want to be efficient, like max efficiency, it definitely isn't the best. When you make a rotation like this, it's good to at least put like maybe like a defensive barrel down. Also, I didn't even see this Pathfinder up here. Like immediately throw a defensive barrel down to at least keep the cooldown running, you know? Otherwise, like technically you are being a little bit wasteful by not barreling right away. But like even then, like you get right through the portal. If you're not hard pressed to do something immediately, just toss a quick barrel down. Like right at your feet could help you, could save your life later. But I was very surprised at how long he held onto his barrels here. He could have easily, especially with a gold helmet, just yeeted like 3 barrels, like 1 up, 2 on the side, and probably been relatively safe. Nobody would have pushed at all. Not that they got pushed and died, but in general, like this is definitely a very conservative play for sure. Let's see. Like I know that Hawkus went over here, but I'm curious as to why he went over there. The music was over, probably why. True. Damn, I just actually said so much, I'm like a little bit out of breath. I think Hawkus told him to throw barrels up earlier, but he was medding. Okay. See, like right here, like, I mean, like, I would have tossed 1 down just to at least get the cooldown, or tossed 1 up just to at least get the cooldown running, because like I said, it is technically a little inefficient and the cooldown is a bit long, so it's not like you want to try to cycle those barrels as much as you possibly can. And I'm not like criticizing his play as in like it's bad or anything. Like obviously, like I've been saying nothing but good things. It did seem like he was playing a little uncharacteristic from what the rest of the games were like. But certainly just because, you know, just because he played super well in the other games doesn't mean we can't look at some things that, you know, could be done better. Not just for his sake, but, you know, hey, for any aspiring Caustic players out there.
Rätt mig! Lätt uppe!
See, like right here, like right here is a perfect example. If he had dropped 1, like if he had like covered his bases immediately, like say he had dropped 1 to the right away, this Wraith would have been hard fucked. He wouldn't have lost a lot of this health. You know, I mean that's a hindsight thing, but at the same time, that's what I was kind of saying. Like you get in, maybe yeet 1 up, yeet 1 to each side that you're on, and you're good, right? Had he thrown 1 over here earlier, this Wraith probably would have been super fucked already more than he was. You know. But so yeah. So does anyone know what Hawkus's plan was here? Like I don't know what his comms are or why he went. Obviously he goes in here. Was he just trying to play the circle early? I'm not exactly sure.
Jag måste heala.
Checking out your channel, Chode. I mean, this one's tough, right? Vapes. It's always tough to be in the perspective of the guy that's down, because like right now I'm thinking like Vapes, just fucking res him, dude. What are you doing? Obviously Vapes knows a little bit more than we do. But this is, I mean, in hindsight, this is probably the time to do it because those guys seem like they're focused on something else. Yeah, he absolutely overpeaked. This is why I'm not sure what Hawkus was doing, because again, I don't have comms. Because this is the first time since I started VOD reviewing them that they were just completely split on a decision, it seemed. Hawkus went over, I'm guessing to find a position for them to play. That's like why else would he be over there? And then Loli kind of like randomly just wide peaked. That's the biggest thing you can't do is just like you just can't go down as a Caustic, because then you're literally feeding into why your character's weak. Yeah, he definitely overpeaked here. In general, obviously, like just the comms are off. Like I said, this is the first time I saw them actually be like a little bit off from each other what they're doing.
Jag kan inte. Jag måste bätta.
Okej, hela bara.
Vi får chilla lite. Bara chilla lite.
Vi vinner på mig sen bara, jag håller bara.
Ja.
Obviously, Hawkus. So, like, Hawkus actually even goes down before he peaks right here. So, I'm not really sure. And Loli doesn't ever really make any attempt to go back until he's already down. Like I said, this is the first time... This is the first time I've seen them just kind of, like, Papego a little bit, to be honest. Not sure what he's doing. I mean, I don't need his POV. I just need to know. I just want to know what his comms are. I can see that he did some weird shit.
Jag kan inte rösta.
Nej.
I mean, obviously I know he's looking for a spot, but I just want to know what the comms are here because there's a clear miscommunication between the two. And like I said, it didn't happen. This is the first time it happened in this entire VOD review. So I think they definitely I don't know. I feel like even on Lowly's part in particular, like he played that. I mean, in general, not just getting picked right there. I feel like he played that in general very uncharacteristic. Basically on the two fronts of one. Not replacing like any barrels. Like the way he has been playing, I honestly figured he would have yeeted, like I said, yeeted a barrel up that cliff very early on, like a lot earlier on, and then kind of just going up and feeding like that was a little bit of a surprise. But overall, very good game to like get to where they were. Those some really good rotations. That's not easy. That's like anytime you see Caustic rotating in the late game like that, where they never get the circle. It's monumentally harder to do that with a Caustic than it is with a Jibby, so hats off to them for even getting to that far. That's not easy at all. Oh, they got Hot Zone too? Holy fuck. Thermal alone plus Hot Zone? These boys are about to be kidded.
Nej, jag vill inte ha sånt igen. Jag gillar inte. Han är lite ny wingman. Fucking jävlar.
Oh, that is rough. Damn, for Hot Zone loot, not all that great. We got a blue and a purple. They had a game earlier where they weren't, if you weren't watching the entire way through, they weren't in the Hot Zone, but they had 2 fucking purples and a gold. Alright, so we got a obviously very oriented, epicenter oriented circle. By the way, quick little like pro tip, because like it's kind of crazy how many people don't know this. But if you don't know how to read circles, the best way to do it is to just look at where the circle is centered. Now, that's not always definitive be-all, end-all on where the circle is going to end, but it's certainly a good indicator because it depends on a lot how the circle's positioned. And the best way to do it, most people like sometimes can't tell. Most people would like literally just forget about this, but just look at this line. Literally points right to the center. Just a little quick pro tip. I know a lot of you pro players probably know that, but there's a lot of people that don't. Just a little tidbit. That's a freebie right there for you. All right, so we're looking at Epi. Epi, at least, center. Obviously, we saw the circle that was just out here a little bit ago. Your boy called. You know, no big deal. Typically, when the circles are, like, super shifted, like, to one bit of the corner, like, this far north, they typically end. They will typically, like, end somewhere north. Because, like, obviously, if, like, the circle is going to end here, you know, it's not going to be like this to begin with, right? So typically these really like shifted circles to one direction are going to be somewhere in that direction eventually. So don't be surprised to see a circle anywhere up here. There's some that end on refinery. There's some that end like over this area. Could still be Epi. Epi's got a lot of circles around this area. There's a couple around this area. Could be Survey. I mean, I guess it's kind of in that bit. But don't be surprised to see it somewhere anywhere around this area where I just basically just pinged. Marked. Which either way is gonna be rough for them no matter what, because they are literally on the polar opposite of this circle. So they're gonna get there late. They're not gonna get that great of a spot. I'm very curious to see how they come away with this one. Very curious to see how they come away with this one.
Jaha, ja, jag fick marka den här. Nej, jag kan inte.
I think rotating along this north end is pretty smart. Well, it's like it's a double-edged sword, because there's a lot of teams that also think the same way. To like rotate just by the north, rotate around everything. So there is sometimes a chance that you might just get like the north side might actually be extremely congested. Alright, so like I said, notice that it pulled a little bit north. That's what I was saying. Normally when these circles are very fucking polarized to a certain area, they will pull a little bit more extra to that spot. So popular circles here now. There is one out. There are a couple like out here in this block. I doubt you'll see one up here. It can pull up there, but given the circle we've already seen, it's very unlikely. There is a circle out here. There is a circle. I mean, I think this whole building is viable for a circle, but I know a very common one is like right up in like basically this corner. Obviously there's one out here. Those are like the big refinery ones. I'm assuming it's probably going to be refinery, but obviously, if you just look at the center, it's like right on this area, which also can be a circle, but it's kind of like a face. But again, because it's such a north-oriented circle, most players would read this as it's probably going to pull somewhere up here. So hopefully, for their sake. One nice thing about Refinery, though, is even though there aren't that many buildings, like not a big number of buildings, there's a lot of places you can play in Refinery. Like, Refinery has a lot of real estate for teams. So that is the one redeeming factor of this. But it's a matter of if they can get there. Keep in mind, anytime you're rotating literally from one side of the map to the other, you're probably going to be late on a rotation. And there's probably going to be a lot of teams ahead of you. So you always got to keep that in mind, but it doesn't mean you're always fucked. Yeah, they're Swedish. It is sped up because not much is going on right now. There's not much, like, all I can critique is what they do, so I'm speeding it up a lot faster than most of my other VOD reviews. Because I can't critique their comms at all because I can't understand them. So I can only critique what they do. This place sucks shit to hold, so I'd be surprised if they stay here. But obviously, this is not any team's end goal. This is a desperation play to stay here. Is it ballsy? Nah, it's relatively safe. If you don't get beamed going up the balloon, you're good. I mean, I guess it is ballsy. They also have the armors, right? I doubt they do it on like white armors, for example. You know, they can take the damage. This is a really solid house, actually. Couple reasons. Here, we'll slow it down, actually. This is a really, really solid house, and a lot of the main reasons is their back is clear. They're literally at the northmost house. If there's anyone hiding back here, it's a fucking rat. So, they actually got really, really. This house is gonna work really, really well for them. All they ever have to worry about anytime you can get into a position where, anytime you get into a position where like literally 180 degrees you don't have to worry about, you just have to worry about the 180 in front of you, you're fucking chilling. You're absolutely chilling. So very good spot for them to grab, especially not only that it is the deep pocket principle, the DPP on the north side of the circle, it's also a house. So surprised that was free. Yeah, me too. I mean, all things considered, they did rotate kind of fast. They could have rotated a lot faster. They definitely take their time looting in thermal, but I need some more for them. Yeah, it's really. I bet you that Wraith feels stupid.
Okay.
Alright, well, you're gonna get to see Caustic in action here. I was hoping they got a tough circle. I want to see if like they could turn a really, really tough circle into a win, which they did, I guess. They did a couple games ago, but they also just like got gifted so many third-party fights. I mean, not saying like they didn't earn it. They definitely fought their fucking asses off. He's very liberal on that all. Some spice here. I mean, again, they're at all of the, like, this is the deep pocket principle I'm talking about. Incorporate this one too, Garrett. Deep pocket principle, the DPP. That's the other one I talk about a lot. Look at this. Outside circle, inside circle. Boom, and they are right sitting nice and pretty in that deep pocket. There's like one team out here. They'd be fucking stupid if they contested, because obviously it's a Caustic team. Like, why the hell would you ever push a Caustic team, especially in a small circle? They are in the deep pocket. They are safe as fuck. Anyone that contests them literally gets shot at by everyone. All these motherfuckers gonna die right here, basically. The DPP. They're so fucking safe. It's actually mind-boggling how safe they are. They cannot be pushed. Hello, Uter. You're Uter? I'm sorry, I probably...
Jag kan ta några.
Jag droppar inte.
Ja, bra.
Shit, det fanns inte helt.
I don't get why this is so free to take, yeah. I think part of it is because teams don't want, because it's not often that a circle ends out on this building, so maybe they didn't want to like have to rotate in late. They want it to be further in, you know, because like realistically, if you take any of these, if you take, fucking get out of here, because realistically, you take like any of these other, well, any of like this house or like this like tractor area, which isn't the best right there. You definitely don't want to take that if the houses are available. But like this house right here. It's just fine. Like it's probably better off in the long run than this house. You might be a little bit more likely to get pushed, but even then, that's a pretty slim chance.
What? På mig. Jag börjar. Jag försöker klättra in.
De domar.
Ja.
Would you recommend Caustics for normal ranked? I mean, it's up to you if you're good at it.
Ta upp den här.
It's definitely really annoying, but I feel like most Caustics are like honestly bots.
Han poppar mig rätt hårt.
150.
Kolla så här. Han poppar så båda väldigt hårt.
But I mean, honestly, not really, because rank doesn't play at that like level for Caustic at that speed.
Ja, 2 skott.
If you can play it at that speed with like actually like sitting and holding houses, then yeah, you're
Redan
fine.
nu, gas i flyttan. I värsta fall så får vi
Det är ingen där.
Det är ingen där.
Jag är på plan nu.
Jag springer bara.
Very good. So one thing I like that I've seen a couple them do a couple times is they take rotations. Most of the time, if they can, they take them early, and I like that a lot. Because most people typically, you know, they'll go in with the zone or sometime as the zone is closing. That's generally how most teams rotate, because they don't, you know, the hermit crab. You know, they don't want to move to a better spot, and then all of a sudden there's somebody at their back, right? What I love about this is, they take this obviously this tractor kind of sucks to hold versus a house, but they got to think about their next rotation, right? They got to get in. Them coming in early allows the Caustic obviously to set up around the area, but also more importantly allows him to gatekeep with his gas, which is fucking huge. You saw it in the very first game that I did, how they did that very early rotation into the late game, and then the team that was close to them that was trying to rotate in, he just threw his ult at them and they just died.
Yes.
So very good, very heads up play. I like how early they rotate.
Jag kunde hålla mig här.
Ja, håller.
If this team pushes right into them, they are fucked.
Kan
Tänkte
poppa
på
på grund av.
gasterna här sen också.
Jag kommer bara hålla här uppe. Kacka vet hon här.
Okej.
Jag springer för trappan här. De fightar vid trappan. 58 eller 55.
Jag
domar.
har ett skott kvar med sniper.
Ja, de har vunnit.
Ta det.
Interesting if they run double sniper though.
Flash där uppe.
I mean, it's good. It's good for this team comp for sure, because you're running 2 fucking house camping characters. So it's definitely very good. I also like how outside the house Hackers plays.
Jag tror det. Jag vet inte.
Also very good. I enjoy that. Gives them extra angles to get certain things and to get information too.
Skjuter bakifrån.
Jag battar.
Inte
De är en utanför. Breakar nästan rafen.
Bara gasa ut.
Ja, jag battar.
Ett HP. Brief.
Farfarna.
Big gas.
Ser det höger sidan bara.
Jag har gasen.
I am
All
about to
gasen
drop.
bort på.
I'm tired.
Ja, men säg från borta.
Part of it is also standing up this whole time, but like I said, it's a bit of a hassle to put this desk down and to redo move my camera.
Ja, de
and
säger
stuff.
det.
En utanför.
Nej, de är inte in. De måste vara höger.
9 på en inne.
Farfarna på vårt tak. De är på vårt tak. Jag brinner. Wait, we're down. Jag måste ställa. Jag ställer.
What do you do if you're that team, man? Poor Kuya.
Han springer utanför.
Dude has been getting bullied by my entire fucking series.
Han är på muren. Vet kuva.
Jag lutar här bara snart.
Vet att uppe.
Bakom tunneln här.
Behöver energy om ni hittar.
Yeah, no, there's nothing you can. He is the
Jag
best
ställer.
at holding a position.
Där, trappan.
A position with like doors. and,
Inuti
like,
också. De fightar inuti.
obvious entryways.
98 Watsonen. 74 på jeep.
Jag lutar Watson.
Jag slänger ark på.
Watson here. Watson
Oh
look.
my god, the shots. Holy shit, Lily, calm the fuck down.
Jag behöver light waves. Jag har 80 skott.
Okej, jag har 100 va.
Okej, jag försöker leta på den här. Bara han får vapen.
Men jag droppar det.
Jag tror Evan.
Okej, bra. Var
Jag
han
lutar
vapnen
mot
borta?
honom.
Jag måste loota det med.
Han hade...
Det är kostskap.
Havoc, jag droppade min Havoc.
Ja, okej.
Jag behöver slå upp i light, jag har 90.
Höger, bossen.
Jag ställer, jag
Vart är
ställer.
vinner, by the way.
Jag kan toppa det 44. Lolly.
Tack.
Picka höger.
50 på bossen.
Ja, en
Good
mix
for the
alltså, Ruby.
CPS4.
Vänta lite,
jag har
jag har
fem-
7. Jag har 7. Jag
Jag
ställer
droppar
7.
med 3. Droppar med 3.
Så vi tar planen och springer in. Vi kan springa,
Vi går in bara. Vi
Så
går
jag
in.
vill-
Jag droppar i 2 bara.
vi kan springa utanför där annars. Ja. Jag kan gasa dörröppningen. Eller höger.
Vi kan... Ja. Vi bara vinner det här. Vi vinner det här. Typ. Eller så går vi bara sent. Vi kan bara slå. Vi har slow side. Vi har bara slow side. Bara teama alla så går vi in. Nejda. Ja. Pusha bubblan. Inte bubblan.
This is rough.
Jag fast! What?
He couldn't get the ult off because I think he had like an awkward
Nej, jag var
ball.
helt fast, sorry.
Damn.
Men ingen fick göra av så jävla fast det var.
That's rough. They literally had to rotate in the open. And that's what sucks. They had to take that bubble for sure. But he got stuck on like a fucking
my bad
rock.
also.
Vi tar in något. Fjärde plats, andra kiss.
Alright, well, there's not much they could have done there, to be
Det är
honest.
nog någon smokar.
Maybe have thrown the ult a little sooner, but I think he wanted to gas the inside of the bubble and actually take it, which is a solid strategy. Which is definitely a solid strategy, but he got stuck. I think he wanted to throw it down, but then he got stuck on the rock. Yeah, he got stuck on the rock. That sucks.
What? Det var...
Jag knockar.
Nej, jag var helt fast.
That sucks.
Men det
very, very
jävla fast det var. What?
Well, Alliance are your online tournament 2 winners. I guess that concludes the Alliance VOD review. Overall, very impressive them, to be honest. They looked a lot... this version of Alliance is definitely looked really strong. They've improved a lot. I obviously can't understand their comms, so it was a little unfortunate. But overall, like their team play was crazy. I could tell by the comms the way they would like say something and then everybody was all of a sudden doing it, like anytime there was a big fray. So I could tell they're very coordinated as a team. They had that a bit of a mishap in the game before this, but you know, they're not everyone's perfect. Bully didn't have his hard step blasting, but they overall like really solid, man. That was some really good Caustic work right there. There's not a lot of people that can play Caustic that well with the barrels. Very creative with them. His ults were pretty much on point. There's a lot of fight-winning ults that he had, but very creative uses, especially the one thermal ending where he had to use the barrels as cover. Surprisingly, not a lot of Caustics do that. Like, the barrel actually suits as pretty decent fucking cover. Overall, that was awesome, man. That was actually a lot of fun to watch. I wish they did English, or spoken English. Alliance, if you ever watch this, please just speak English. Next time, make it easier for me. Thanks. You're already calling Kobe's. I heard it. But congrats to them for winning the Europe Championship. Very good rotations, very good circle reading. Had a blast doing this one. It's fun.